Really?
No, I'm tired.
I thought so. I thought so.
He's been doing the DoorDash thing all day.
Yep, I wake up at 8 o'clock every day, and then I go to sleep at 2 a.m.
Yay!
Sounds like a good time. No. So, seeing how we don't have our normal host, we're gonna be really fucking disorganized for this
Probably.
first hour because we didn't plan anything.
Yeah. But Bernard was he was talking about Shovel Knight and his curious case of just forgetting about a Kickstarter.
Oh yeah.
I'm not okay. So this is here you guys go. The old person story of the day. So I was not really adept in understanding things about Steam and everything going on, and I bought a new laptop for the specific reason to play games. So I went on there, found a Steam account, I signed in, said I had some games on there. I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then I thought I had some Kickstarter games, didn't I? Let me go double check, and come to find out I had like 3 Steam codes waiting for me for Kickstarter games. One of them was Shovel Knight, and I've been playing that constantly. It's been the best damn thing in the world to me.
That's a fucking good game.
I was, and the best part about it is I was just plugging my Xbox controller into the computer and just start playing.
Mm-hmm.
Computers are the future, kids. Screw consoles.
Yeah, I mean, fucking the fact that the Xbox controller specifically is natively supported by the PC makes it so you could just go ahead and play whatever as if it's a console. It's like, fuck it, you just play with the controller.
It was so easy and so simple, and I don't know if I'm going back.
Yeah.
That's how. Like right now, I'm thinking, well, I can now play whatever game I really want. It's pretty powerful laptop. I mean, i7, blah blah blah, some other crap, and I just said, well, the games I want to play probably won't have to. I don't have to worry about that. But there's a lot of cool things I saw when I was in PAX. I thought, wow, I could Steam play this game here, play this game there. That'd be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Right on, right on.
Yeah, and now there's the Bluetooth Xbox controllers. So if
Oh,
you have
yeah.
Bluetooth on your laptop, just there you go, wireless, and hook it up to the TV.
Fun.
Yep.
That's a really nice thing about the new controllers is that they're updating them as they come out because it's
Yeah.
like we had the same old 360 controllers minus the headset dongle.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everything.
How they
That's the
changed
only,
it to the standard port.
Yeah, that's
Oh.
the only thing that changed over time.
My least favorite thing about the Xbox 360 controller was that weird plug that was there for no reason to have a USB plug on there. Remember that piece?
No, I don't. What the
You talking
fuck?
about
Yeah.
the bottom next to the port?
Yeah, the little thing that like you just unplug it for no reason. There was no port that actually could hook up to.
What
but-
actually went in there was the launch headset, and it was
Oh, that thing.
yeah, it was the codec that they used for picking up your voice, and also it was for something stupid too.
They started using it as like a little stabilizer.
Yeah,
Like they put a little
they ended up
fin
just putting
on-
a plastic chunk there because
Yeah.
they were
Like
able to
on
do
the-
everything with the aux.
Like on the chat pad. The
Yeah.
chat pad had a little thing that went in there. Actually, that might have been some sort of.
He probably used it. Probably actually had a connector on there.
Yeah, I think it was.
So there was a
actually,
couple things in the beginning, and then they just stopped using
yeah,
it.
I came into the 360 market like towards the end, so I was like, what the heck is this even used for?
Yeah, they were chat pad of the old headset. I'm having trouble. I couldn't connect to YouTube. I wanted to have the stream running. What's going on there?
It's running.
It's running.
going.
Oh,
I
it's-
see it right now.
Well, no, I'm just not able to fucking use the internet. Here,
Well, because that's because
let's
the
try
internet
Netflix.
hates you.
Just press buttons.
No, it just says what the fuck? Blaine? Is that why? Well, fuck it. It's okay.
So
It's running. I can see it. You're good to go. You have one person watching now.
Yeah.
what's everyone been playing?
Me and Spencer have been on a lot of that Destiny 2. I tried League of Legends for the first time last night.
Oh yeah, go over that.
Oh.
It's not fucking fun. I find myself so confounded as to how that game became so popular. It's like you play for 40 minutes or whatever, and there's no feedback. You don't know if you're doing shit right. It's just like, oh, I guess I'll buy this item because it sounds good.
Yeah, it's definitely a like a teamwork game where you gotta play with your friends. Because when I used to play a lot, I could not play without a group of friends, or else I'd be bored, fucking to shit.
Right? Yeah, I probably would have gotten wiped out even harder if it weren't for I wasn't like, hey, Luis, what item should I buy next?
Yeah, I thought it was funny. You heard my reaction when Brenda said that you were playing it. I was like, oh, does he hate himself? Is he mad? Does he want to make Destiny feel that much better again?
Right? Yeah, that's what it was. I hopped on the computer because nobody was playing Destiny at the time, and Brenda and Louise were like, "Hey, fucking, you should play League with us." I think they said it jokingly, and I was like, "Yeah, you know what? I hate myself. I'll do this."
Bernard, you said you had experience with League of Legends or something at one point.
I don't know what the hell it is. All I know is every time I go to a con or something like that, the most fancy cosplayers is this League of Legends thing. Like, wow, what anime you from? Oh, I'm from a game. Okay, back away slowly and just go about my business.
Ooh, just made myself look old.
Dude, I make myself look old all the damn time. I'm not worried about it anymore.
Own it.
You don't give a shit
Yeah.
about it. Yeah.
See, when you guys talk about, trying to find people to play games, I remember when I found my favorite website of that. It's called number 2 old, number 2 play. So 2 old, 2 play. And it's just people over 30 who want to play games together. So you don't have to listen to little kids yell at you and shit like that. And as an older group of people, you can pretty much dominate kids if you play well enough. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like because of like being put into a more like sophisticated gameplay at a younger age, like kids have been taken to like games like really well.
oh no, they're gonna be good,
Yeah.
but they're not gonna have teamwork.
Oh, okay. I see
Yeah.
your point there.
You
That
know,
works.
There is that one kid who's just got onto the LA's Overwatch League team. He's like 16.
Oh, I think you're gonna talk about that 14-year-old widow god, that Seagull.
Oh yeah, that
um,
kid. Yeah,
Jeffrey.
that was what it was.
Fucking.
he doesn't have pubes yet, and he's making money.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
he's a streamer. and
Well,
he-
Good for
the
him. Good for him.
the 1v1 world champion for Quake right now.
oh yeah,
Vu. Yeah, he's 17.
That's
and,
right.
I mean, like one of the things about him is that he just doesn't get shaky or nervous or anything when he's playing.
What's funny is he doesn't look any different from these older dudes.
Yeah,
They're all
right.
the same nerd.
Yeah, they all have like something about Quake. It just brings in that like old school nerd vibe. I don't know what it is.
Right? Yeah,
That's
that
awesome.
Yeah, I love Quake, man. It's like Quake Champions is kind of messing with me right now though because it has a lot of netcode errors going on. Like, anytime I try to play it, I start getting like ridiculous rubber banding, and like the hit detection isn't working. It's like I'll dump like a full like everything on a lightning gun into someone, and it's like you see all the numbers chipping in the air, and they're not dying. It's like, wait a second, and then they hit me like for a brief second. I'm dead. I'm like, something happened there. It's such a bummer, but
it sounds like latency though.
yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't happen in any other game. Like, and it doesn't say like the ping's there, but it's a known issue with Quake Champions.
Oh, okay. You're saying like even if you're not having network problems at the time,
Yeah, like you could be just fine on your network.
it's clearly server.
Yeah, the
issues.
servers. Well, because one of the reasons why it's the way it collects data is it's constantly just taking like a big chunk of your upstream,
Mhm.
and
That's unusual.
yeah, and so it because instead of sending the normal data packets of did you shoot X, yes, and then like taking the hits back and forth, it is taking your info of your game running, and for some reason the way that they do that just ruins the game, and it's trash when you're playing.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, it's a real big bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy how good like kids can get at games like that shit. Like, he's 17. When was the last Quake before Champions?
Quake 3, which I think was in 2002.
So that kid was 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
That dude was 2 when
He's
the
just-
latest Quake came out, and now he's a fucking world
Quake 3
champion.
Arena was December 1999.
It was 1999.
Fucking
Yeah.
Lord.
Whoa.
He was unborn.
He was unborn when the last Quake came out. Yeah.
Holy fuck. He might have been a fetus.
He wasn't even a
no,
thought.
No, he wasn't
His
even a
dad was
thought.
playing Quake.
Well, because if it came out in 2000. Or no, he was born in 2000. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So, yeah,
he
in
was
99,
he was
he
the
might have
shine in
been-
the eye,
He might have been
the little
He was-
twinkle in the eye.
at the very
His dad was
basis of-
having LAN parties and he was watching him play.
right? Yeah.
No, his dad didn't get laid at that time with that. There's no way.
Well, he was born the next
No,
year.
no. That's the thing I'm going to say about you kids being at the perfect age for this, where nerds are now in,
They're
Oh,
allowed.
and you
Yeah.
you can get play on a regular basis. When I was growing up, no, that didn't happen at all. No way near it.
Right.
But now it's celebrated. I mean, we got midnight showings for a movie about comic books tonight, and everybody wants to be there. Y'all lucky. Y'all in a good place. Nerdism's getting paid.
Right? People
Yeah.
are always like, "Oh man, I wish I were born like in the 20s or the 70s."
Fuck
or
no.
sometime." Fuck that. Fuck that shit forever.
Dude, yeah. Fuck that. Like, fuck that on like any. If you're Irish, you're not even gonna be happy in those times. Like, It's like it's not even like, oh, if you're not white. It's like, no, you have to even be a specific white.
Right? You can't be Jewish either.
Yeah,
born in a specific
everything
time.
sucks before like even the 80s or 90s.
Right?
So, oh jeez.
Shit, I
But-
mean, even the 80s are.
Yeah, even the 80s aren't very.
Pushing
Yeah, a little bit.
There's a reason NWA took off in the 80s.
But then again, I guess there's like a lot of like the people that were around then are still big now. So it's like,
Oh no, but I'm just saying like it was a good time for it to take off because it was like, hey, we can actually point this shit out that it's still really shitty, but we're at the point where we can actually say it now.
right?
Yeah, society's only got like when people want to go back in time. I'm like, I mean, there wasn't medicine before the 20s, really.
Wow.
Yeah,
Barely.
polio got you pretty good.
Yeah, so that's not a fun
Yeah,
time.
people thought they had it great when fucking what was the guy that did invented the vaccine for polio again? Everybody knows his name, but I can always fucking
Pasteur?
forget it. Was that it? Whatever. People thought they had it good when the fucking polio vaccine came out. You can play video games at home and make fucking 3 times the average income.
Jonas Edward Salk.
That's what
There
his
you go.
name was. There we go. Jonas Salk. Anyway, Connor, you got some Switch games you're supposed to talk about, right?
Yeah. So one of them was Yono and the Celestial Elephants, which Andrew thought was going to be a pretty game because the thumbnail for it was one of those hand drawn, like nice, elaborate ones.
Right. So bait for Andrew.
But yeah, and then it turned out to actually be kind of a children's game. The way it plays is like those Elmo games from the PlayStation 1 era, where
Sounds pretty sick.
there's like a lot of cutesiness, bubbly music going on, floaty control. Like the animations don't match the movement type thing. It doesn't seem like it's a bad game. It just doesn't seem like a game for people that are over the age of 8 or fully capable mentally. Like, I'm not saying that as an insult. I'm saying like special needs people would probably like it'd probably be a good
So
game.
you?
Yeah, probably.
It sounds like shovelware is already hitting the Switch.
But well, I mean, it's a Nindy title. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a physical card. I mean, it's only like
Did you
$5.
say Nindy?
That's what they call them, Nindies.
Oh, I haven't heard that yet.
Nin-
Yeah, that's the
Nintendo
official
Indie.
term is Nindies.
I like that actually.
And it's probably not a bad game for kids. There's some glitches in it too. Was one thing is if you are between 2 hard objects, like you have a wall behind you and a box in front of you,
Hmm.
and then you use the tackle move, you'll jump up in the air and you can just jump across puzzles and stuff. Doesn't matter what you do, you'll just start floating. Or you can actually fall off the map that way. But yeah, it was something. But then another game I played was Wheels of Aurelia.
Wait, that was last week's.
It's well, yeah, that's right. I did talk about it a little bit. I played
Yeah.
it more and was getting ready to put it in a video.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
It's bad.
Oh no.
Now I'm just on the point of saying that this game is bad.
Oh,
Like because
that's a bummer.
it's okay. So it's only 10 minutes to beat a campaign.
Right.
What?
Well,
Yeah.
because it sounds like you're supposed to
Wait,
play
how
the whole
much
thing.
did that cost you?
The game would cost. I think it was $10.
10 minutes for $10.
Well, there's multiple campaigns.
Yeah, but that's the thing is like, yeah, there's multiple campaigns, but here's the rundown of how this game works. So when you normally like, okay, it fails as a game and as a
Visual novel.
visual novel. Yeah, it's both because the minimum requirements for a game is for something to be like fun, engaging, something like that, which this doesn't. You're just driving.
So
It can-
listening to the stories, you don't care.
Yeah, well, see, and then now if we go to visual novel, a story, it has to be, there has to be development, plot, this kind of stuff. The way that this game works is because it's only 10 minutes, you get a couple bits of small talk going on is how the game works.
Right.
And it seems like you just played the tutorial or the opening chapter, and then the game's over. So there's no actual, like, there's no meat to the story or anything. And even if I've played through 10 of 15 now,
Hmm.
and it's not that it goes more in depth. It's just 15 shallow stories.
Oh, lame.
Yeah, so it's like you could rob a bank with this guy. Well,
You're playing a Reader's Digest?
yeah, pretty much. That's a way to think of it.
Kids, that's an old magazine. Well, I'm not going to start.
I know about Reader's Digest, but the people on listening, who knows, maybe. But yeah, it's really terrible because what it does is it's like it sets up the story that you're supposed to go on an adventure with someone
Right.
or any of the people that you pick. You start out with one girl that you met in a bar at that night,
Oh yeah.
and well, you're a girl too in the game.
Ah.
And
Wait,
then,
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wait a
There's
second.
no,
Hey,
that's
come
actually
on.
a thing. I tried to get that like lineage, but then it just goes to, oh, you're not my type, whatever, and then it doesn't go anywhere.
What?
So and then it's really weird because it's very limiting on
Weinstein
the
her.
answers.
Oh no.
Right. You're going to France. You're in Italy. You're going to France. She wants to get an abortion. It's legal in France. It's not legal in Italy because this is the 70s. And what happens is you never make it to France.
God, yeah, see, the 70s fucking sucked.
You never get to make it to France. What happens is the story will go on, and if you make it to the end with this passenger in there, the girl, there's several different ones. Either she randomly betrays you.
Betrays?
Yeah, because apparently you were kidnapped like years ago, and like you make news headlines for some reason still. There's like no, it doesn't give any insight as to who you are. Like if you're actually a rich person, there's a reason for people to want to like see you in the tabloids.
Oh.
It just says that people still like. There's all these loose ends that they never tie up. It keeps giving you all this stuff, but never any resolution, no rising action. There's no climax. It's all the small talk in the beginnings of a great story, but there's no story. And it's really annoying because it's like I want to hear all these stories, but I never will because the game's over and it never even went into the stories. It just kind of mentioned it. It's kind of like if you were sitting at a table with a couple people thinking of ideas like, oh, that's a cool idea. And then you never wrote more of it.
So, like what we do.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying though, is like you don't make a movie out of that.
Right.
You don't make an entire production out of thinking of an idea.
I guess that's true.
And it just comes off just bogus overall. It's not a
Well, you do. Not a movie. You make sketch comedy.
yeah,
Where
but
it's okay that you don't elaborate further.
yeah, but even then those usually have some sort of punchline
Right.
or an actual thing that
There's a
makes
payoff.
sense. Yeah, there's a payoff in it. There's no payoff in this. So it fails in that regard. I mean, fucking Necopara has more engagement.
Oh,
That
no.
doesn't even have that's a linear path.
How many Necopar hours are you up to now?
A lot. Bernard, are you familiar with what Necopara is?
Not at all.
No, he was talking about how he hadn't been up on Steam.
Yeah, so what I do is it's basically a porno game where you fuck anime cat girls. But I think it's just hilarious. So what I've been doing is I leave it running on my computer so that it just gets more and more hours. So that if anyone decides to look at my profile, they're gonna see that I have like 100 hours in Players Unknowns, and then like 200 hours in Team Fortress 2, and then like 1,000 hours in all the Necopars.
You can feel his disappointment beating
Oh,
through
yeah.
this port.
Yeah.
I'm not. No, I'm disappointed. I'm not gonna lie.
Talking about obscene hours on Steam, I just passed the 1,300 mark on Warframe.
What the fuck is wrong with you? No.
Warframe's a good game, though.
I
What is this
have an
Warframe
addiction.
thing?
Warframe? Go ahead and explain it, Spencer. You've
All right,
actually played
so the best way to explain Warframe in a nutshell is you are a robot space ninja fighting aliens and all kinds of crazy shit with all these different guns. There's like over.
This sounds like the most amazing game ever.
It's fucking cool.
It's pretty good.
It's also free, isn't it?
It
Yeah,
is
it's free.
completely free.
Robot
And-
Space Ninja for free.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
Steam
so-
that now.
Yeah, it's on
Thousands of
Steam.
hours.
Thousands of hours.
Well, not quite 1,000. Well, I guess
Yeah,
1.3
1,000.
thousand.
300.
Yeah.
Hundreds. A little close to thousands.
1,300 hours.
1,300 hours.
Brenda's probably got over 1,000 hours in that combined between PC and Xbox.
I just couldn't go to the consoles because like the difference between the progression is just so much. The only downside to Warframe is you have to pay for slots for your weapons and gear and stuff, which
Well,
they give
that's-
you slots for free whenever they have events.
I mean, yeah, it's a free game. It's Grindfest, right?
To an extent, they let you be able to unlock everything as long as you put in like an hour's worth of work for what you're trying to get.
Yeah, Grindfest.
It's
Yeah.
not.
It's not
like
Destiny where you gotta grind for 3 weeks to get one item.
It's
Okay,
not
yeah.
fucking EA with Star Wars Battlefront 2. Have you heard about that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
Reddit
Jesus.
lost its mind over that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was actually like someone put all the points together in a nice post. They weren't even like insulting EA or anything. They put it all there, and it was
Oh.
the most upvoted comment, and EA deleted it.
What so
No, most Wait,
It was upvoted. It was one that someone wrote, and they put like everything that was bad and like what needs to be fixed, and like
wait, where was this on their
this
forums?
was on the Reddit response that EA had about Battlefront 2. They have it like basically an AMA.
They can't delete people's comments.
If they're admin for the Reddit page.
They
Yeah.
wouldn't be.
well,
EA wouldn't have an admin account for any subreddit other than maybe the EA.
I think they started one for this. Like it was like an AMA basically. I know but there was something that just happened today, and the post had like hundreds, if not thousands, of upvotes, and then it
Looking
was
for it
deleted.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bernard's on the hunt. Fucking conversely, whatever the fuck. On the other end of the spectrum, they had some EA representative had the most downvoted comment
Yeah,
in history on Reddit by fucking far. It used to be like 37,000. They got to 500,000.
They're
almost.
at 600,000, 6,800,000
So
currently.
it's still
Wow.
growing.
yeah. It's ridiculous. This whole thing's ridiculous because they're treating a game that you pay full price for like it's freemium. That's the biggest problem here. And
But isn't that the new model for everything nowadays?
Well, see, that's what EA seems to be pushing.
EA and
EA
Activision
is the big pusher of
yep,
this.
EA and Activision just
Like,
pushing it.
Activision's more aesthetics, though. They're like, yeah, buy all the
Yeah,
cool looking
see,
shit.
that's the thing. Like, okay, if you look at something like Overwatch, yes, you can pay money to get loot boxes, but it's aesthetic. It's for getting costumes. It's for getting stickers and spray paint and all that
So
stuff.
it doesn't help out the gameplay at all.
Right.
It just
Right.
makes you
All
pretty.
characters now and forever are free. All new levels now and forever have been free.
You just get them.
So
In-
and you own the game. You own all the real content.
Oh, so I know what you're talking about because I know when I play Street Fighter 4 when I played it back in the day, you can every character you get you pay for the character but you don't have to pay for their costume.
Right.
And so if you play it online and somebody else has a fancy costume, he says he's in a fancy costume, and you're like, oh well,
Yeah.
kick your ass with Dan. It's gonna be great.
Right. So you don't have to pay, but like in Street Fighter, you had to pay for extra characters if you like. They made like the Ultra Edition. the
Yeah, you'd
Super-
have to pay for the extra downloaded characters, but if they wanted the fancy outfits, you didn't
Right.
pay. You didn't have to pay for that. That wasn't necessary. So
Yeah.
And
is
also-
this like
and-
a part of both of this now?
Yeah, and that's what we were gonna say about Overwatch. It's like you can unlock those costumes in game for free too,
Okay.
just by playing.
Every
know?
time you level up. You get a
and
loot box.
that's what it is that like people grind for is the fancy costumes. So it's like
it's the TF2 model, which
yeah,
everyone's always.
it's not ruining your game, but with EA right now on Star Wars Battlefront, you physically cannot play a character until you unlock it. And like Darth Vader,
80 hours.
yeah, this was
Yeah,
someone
and
put there.
and
so.
then the other thing that was just crazy was the cap on how many credits you can make.
they
in it.
capped how
Oh,
much you
yeah.
can make in a day now
Yeah.
as well.
So no matter how much you played for that day, once you hit your cap, it's not even worth playing because you won't be able to work towards that new character, and might as well just put the game away for the day.
Yeah, and a bunch of people I saw on forums, they were arguing, oh, well, back in the day, you would unlock stuff by playing. And it's like, yeah, but you could unlock everything in about 10 to 20 hours back in the day. Like, if you, like, on Soul Calibur, you could.
there were some exceptions.
Oh yeah,
like
Soul
Smash
Calibur was
Bros.
amazing.
And there was a ton of, like, things that you could unlock. But even then, a lot of times, the way to unlock shit, like, even if it was 100 hours, you know, it's still 100 hours versus someone did the math on unlocking everything, and it's well over 1,000.
4,500 actually.
Okay, there you go. So, and it's like, okay, you want me to play 4,500 hours to unlock everything in this game? That's ridiculous.
When it's
Or
like-
pay it, or how much money was it again? Someone did the math on that, like the
Well,
same
it was
post.
GameSpot tried to buy enough loot boxes to unlock Vader and Luke, and they spent $200 or something,
Uh-huh.
and only got half of the amount they needed.
Yeah, I think someone spent. Well, they did the math, and it would take around $2,000.
Okay, so GameSpot purchased 100 worth of loot crates, ended up with less than half the amount of credits needed to unlock Darth Vader and Luke. 40 hours or $260 to unlock one of the main characters in Star Wars.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is just ridiculous. Like games back in the day, if you wanted to unlock something, you either had to get to a certain level or do a certain task. Like on Soul Calibur, one of the special outfits for Link was to get, I think it was like 100 ring outs in the tower, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna get 100 ring outs now and just use.
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna set that match to five rounds and just keep going.
Yeah.
Do that one button mash. I'm with you. To me, I'm understanding the dilemma they're getting because I hear the business process on both sides, and I get what EA is trying to do, but I'm with you guys. This is a little ridiculous.
They gotta,
Like this is excessive beyond what excessive should be. Like, would you guys be okay if it was like a 40-hour playthrough for you to get those main characters instead of an 80-hour playthrough? Or I mean, what do you think would be a nice solution for this besides the way that other people have done it, where you get all the games you want or all the players you want, and you pay extra for pay extra for the fancy things like the spray paints and things like that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's definitely a level to which it's acceptable.
if the game's free. For
I'm-
one, if this was a free game right
then
now,
it's completely
yeah,
Even then
everything they're doing right now would be fine by me.
I mean, one of the things I liked. This is a game that like nobody likes. Battleborn. Its character
It's $5 at the below 5 store.
Oh yeah, it's actually a really good game. But the way that you got characters in there is there was challenges, and they were like, oh, go through this story mission, or do this much damage in the match, and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, these challenges are doable, and you were able to do it, and all characters are unlocked through challenges. You didn't have to pay a season pass or anything. You can unlock every character. All the maps are free, and it was it's a $60 game when it came out, and it dropped so much in price. Like, yeah, it died.
Came out the
instantly.
same week as this Overwatch.
No, the
It
week
was
before
week before.
Overwatch, and then as soon as Overwatch came out, they dropped it to $40, and then a month later they dropped it down to $20, and I felt like an idiot because I bought a copy for myself, a friend, and another copy on PC.
Damn.
So it's a good game. Same thing as Overwatch. Why did it not succeed?
It's not the same thing as Overwatch, right?
It's pretty close to Overwatch, but it's got too much of a complexity, I guess, to it for the mainstream audience.
It's also
and
just,
it's
Oh, way
also
to talk
trying
down
to
to
go.
other people.
Well, no,
What a
like,
backhanding
he-
compliment.
well,
You're just not smart. They appreciate this like
no,
we do.
like
Fucking elitist.
no, like one of my core concepts for like a good game is that it has to be simple because people like being able to go into a game and not have to think when they're playing. It's kind of the reason why you don't like League. You're going in there and there's so much stuff that you have to micromanage, so many levels of stuff, and you're like,
I
what
would-
the hell am I doing?
Well, I wouldn't mind that if there were better feedback in the game. That's the problem. Is the game doesn't tell you what like it's like. Hey, this character is really good at doing this, and it's like, okay, well, how do I do that?
yeah,
It's not like it's like in Dark Souls, for example, you have like different like upgrade routes for your weapons and shit, and you can determine based on like, okay, so the armors in this game all are not really that resistant to fucking fire or lightning or whatever. So I'm just gonna make fucking lightning weapons because you can just see that.
Yeah.
But in League, it's like they throw you in with 4 other people and they're like, fucking do it. 40 minutes.
I think
Good
another big problem with League is that it's so old at this point that there's tons of items that are useless
It's
and
weird that it's
unused.
considered that
like-
you call it old.
well, it is
It-
technically
it
old at
is.
this
It's
point.
almo-
It's been
it's 6 years?
2010 or something like that. Yeah.
2010, 2011, I think.
But isn't that old? I mean, look at World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but World of Warcraft is pushing ancient at this point. Like,
Oh,
like-
okay, so our scale's just
well,
big.
because like people look at World of Warcraft and they're like, how the fuck do people still play that? And like, it had a complete refresh. It basically is World of
Yeah, they
Warcraft
keep
2.
It fresh.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's basically World of Warcraft 2 at this point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
People who
they're-
played at the beginning actually complain that it's not the same. That's why they have
the new
Classic.
the
classic.
classic coming out.
And
Yeah.
I actually heard that people are really mad at Classic because it has all the new system in it.
Oh, it's not really.
Yeah,
Oh, it
it's-
actually is classic. The thing I saw that people were mad about is that they closed the private servers where people were doing whatever with them.
Oh yeah, Nostalgia's or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But no, like I was looking into it and people were like, oh, it doesn't have the right talent trees and stuff and all that, and I was like, why would it have like not the right UI and everything from like original Classic where you had to go and like do a quest so you can actually get spells and
So
stuff.
it's not an exact clone.
Because they did show it not having the Burning Crusade.
Yeah.
So, I
Well,
mean,
yeah, it's the content and whatnot from back then, but I think it's not an exact clone of it. It's not like they were like, well, here's that version of the game. It's probably still got like the updated models and everything, right?
Yeah, it's got the new updated models.
no, it has the old models. I know that for sure.
Well, you could switch them.
You could switch them in the game right now.
Yeah.
you
With that.
can. Why would you ever? Oh, for low end.
Just well, yeah,
PCs.
for low end and whatnot. I'm not fully sure on how it works but I know that right now in the new version you can always just make it look like the old game, but this is supposed to actually bring back
Why would you do that?
the mechanics of the old game, is what the classic server is supposed to be. So but there hasn't been a huge amount of details on it yet. From
Yeah,
what
no,
I've
like-
seen.
Like people are like looking into because there was a data mine going on through the servers, and they found just like the actual like stuff for it, and it was just weird.
We'll have to see how it goes. I'm not.
When does it release?
I'm not sure actually. I could pull it up while you guys talk about something else.
Back to shitty Battleborn.
Shitty Battleborn.
I don't know if it's shitty. You told me it's a good game. You like playing it.
Well,
I'm
there's
just
no
curious.
there's no one there anymore.
Well-
Like it used to have like a few thousand people, and now it's down to like 100 or so. There's no community for it anymore, so that's why it's pretty shitty. You go into the match and be like, okay, I'm waiting for a match for like 40 minutes. and
So,
then
so
you
here's
do
a
it.
question: is it one of those games you just can't play by yourself and go through it has to be with other people?
I mean, there is a story mode, and the story mode is pretty decent.
But is that multiplayer only?
It's single player and multiplayer.
Oh,
If you want to do single player, you get to choose whatever character you want to go through, and there's an overarching story for the whole game. And I think that was one of the things I really liked about it over
Is that worth-
Overwatch.
Is that worth $5?
Is it worth
Yes.
$5? It is worth way more than $5.
No, that's single player because of what it is neutered to now because of the lack of population.
I
is
mean,
that worth $5?
I mean, you've got, I think it's 10 missions now with 3 difficulties, and you've got 20 something characters. I think it's like 25 now.
Mm-hmm.
So a slightly larger roster than Overwatch also,
Mm-hmm.
and
Wait, how many did you say?
25.
25? They're tied now, I think.
Yeah, but like it had like they only had like 3 characters
Wait.
since launch. I think.
It was 23. Ana, Smith, or Sombra.
I'm looking at it right now though about the World of Warcraft deal. It looks like they are tweaking some of the settings from back then. I think what they're trying to do is bring it back to vanilla, but they're probably going to shave down the grind. Is what it looks like. Which, I mean, if the mechanics are mostly the same and the grind, because vanilla World of Warcraft was very grindy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was playing it back then when it was.
I remember it. I remember it. Just the quest to get one skill, and that was like if you wanted the perfect loadout, you had to go through like the entire map.
So, the details, like it's saying right here, this is on IGN. This is posted a day ago. That the details are scarce right now. So, this doesn't mention the data mines, but apparently there is going to be some tweaking to the code.
Okay.
It's not going to just be raw vanilla World of Warcraft.
Good thing I don't care.
But yeah, Battleborn definitely worth $5.
Mm-hmm.
I think
you know what, that'd be a good one because I'm gonna buy it because you said it because it's $5. What games do you think people should buy that you're like stupid cheap right now to go play?
That's a good.
stupid
know-
cheap.
You
I
know-
mean, by being stupid cheap, I mean you can go somewhere and probably get it for $20. A $20 game, brand new, because it's so old that people may have slept on. What do you think you need to buy?
StarCraft 2 just went free to play. It's not the same thing, but that just reminded me.
It
Oh, yeah.
is. It is. It's
Yeah.
free.
You know,
Free StarCraft
you know,
2, yeah.
That shit's dope.
if you're sadistic, you
Huh.
know, PlayStation 3, I always make the joke of it every year that it should be getting a Game of the Year edition. Amy is probably the worst game ever conceived. It's $2. It was $2, you know, like when I bought it, and I hate myself for buying it, but it's freaking hilarious if you actually beat it.
I think I watched Game Grumps play through that one.
It's terrible.
It's pretty funny.
The controls are wonky. It's the worst game type mode of any game. It's a escort mission for the entire game, and when you're not escorting, you're gonna die because you're not escorting.
See, but that's not necessarily bad. Like, look at Resident Evil 4.
Well,
Oh yeah, that's like a big chunk of that is escorting the president's daughter.
Probably like 70% of the game.
Yeah.
yeah, but Amy doesn't do it right. Amy does it completely wrong.
Yeah, it can be done right. Fucking, I guess technically. Nah, I was gonna say The Last of Us, but not really because
Nah, Ellie handles
Ellie's
herself.
so independent.
Um,
It doesn't matter.
it's not a good game, but Duke Nukem Forever with all its DLC is like $2 now.
Fuck yeah, it is.
It's
Well,
not.
how dare you just say it's not a good game?
Well, the base game for me, I thought it was a little dry on the amount of enemies to fight. Like it seemed like you fight like 5 dudes and then walk for another 20 minutes. It only takes about 3 hours to beat the main game. So it was a little light on that content. I did like the death match though in Duke Nukem Forever. Just fucking around, like the weapons are so ridiculously stupid. It's so much fun. So But it's one of those games where it's like it got shit on so hard when it first came out, but it's like $2 with all the DLC now on Steam.
I remember reading about that game because I was working at a game store at the time, and I remember they had the guy that had the 10-year-old pre-order for it.
Oh,
just
yeah.
waiting for that. And I remember buying it. I thought, okay, this is cool. It was like $20, and it's a fun game. It's like Serious Sam.
Yeah,
Serious Sam is not meant to be, good.
but Serious Sam has enemies out the ass, and that's
Yeah.
what I really like about that. Like you're just fighting and fighting. Like
Man, I'm also just remembering when I bought Dokapon Kingdom when that was $20. Now that game's like $85 on freaking GameStop.
What the
oh
fuck?
yeah, Dokapon
Yeah,
Kingdom.
Dokapon Kingdom is by far my favorite game on the Wii. I don't care what anyone says. There was no game better than that. Even the Fire Emblem, and I love Fire Emblem, does not equate to how many hours of fun I put into Dokapon Kingdom.
Damn.
It very much has the Monopoly effect of just fucking over people, and like it's satisfying. But
Yeah, but it sounds like this is fun.
this is simple. Yeah, well, it's very in the same vein of like a simple board game because you
Yeah.
roll dice and yeah.
You roll
Oh.
dice, you use simple stats, and then you go on an adventure with your friends.
It's
And
basically RPG Monopoly.
yeah, and it's great. It's
Oh, Mario Party?
kind of.
Kind of. There's no mini games though.
There's only one mini game.
Yeah.
Only one. The
Yeah.
casino area.
Yeah, but it's not like it's not like there's every round there's.
I miss mini games.
It's Mario Hot 100 or whatever it was called just came out.
Is that just? Oh yeah, that's the collection
on-
of mini games from the Mario Party games. Right?
It's well, see, they didn't advertise it very well. It's really weird. A
Yeah,
lot
I
of
hadn't
people,
heard of it until.
a lot of people think that it's just the mini games, but there actually is board game in it. So
Oh, what the
it's
fuck?
yeah, it's an actual Mario Party game, and it just has the top 100 mini games in it.
Oh, okay.
It's on the 3DS.
Is
so,
it like legit? Oh, that's why.
yeah? But I mean, it's still a legit
But if
Mario
they put
Party
that on
game.
Switch,
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't. Like, it's really weird. The Switch, like the 3DS deal right now, it seems like back when the original DS came out, how they were scared that the 3DS would, or not the 3DS, but the DS would fail, so they made the Game Boy Micro, and they were still pushing the Game Boy Advance for a little while. But then the DS ended up becoming the best-selling thing ever. So, I think that's kind of what's going on with the Switch. They're like, okay, here's the Switch. If it doesn't work, we'll keep the 3DS around. And then now it's proving that the Switch is a success, and we're probably going to get like another year out of the 3DS,
Mhm.
I think. So, but yeah,
yeah, it's like so reasonable for them to push for the Switch to become their new like focus. Like
Mhm.
it successfully combines their home and portable platforms. Like
yeah.
It
Nintendo's
is
always
both.
done. Nintendo's always done portable better than they've done console.
Mhm.
Since they started doing portables, like
well, I don't know because it's like other than the Wii U and technically the GameCube, all of their consoles are like huge.
yeah, their consoles
financially.
have been great. I'm not saying that they're not, but it's just that they've done handheld so well, and then it's they've never had a bad handheld moment. They've had bad console moments.
I guess that's true,
Virtual
huh?
Boy.
Well, Virtual Boy wasn't a handheld.
That
it
was
was
just an accessory.
it was a tabletop toy, is what they marketed it as. So, and they call that a console too. So, I mean, you couldn't really go out with it. It had to be plugged in and all that on the table.
Tell Keith Apple carry that.
Yeah, right. Walking through the fucking city and everything with it. That was funny. That's a good video that you should watch, Bernard. Is Keith Apicary.
I love Keith Apicary.
Have you
okay,
seen the
cool.
one with when he has the virtual boy?
Yeah,
going?
yeah. But my favorite Keith Apicary is one where he went auditioning for the video.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
we need
And
to check that one.
You check it out because he actually gets in the video.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's fucking
He's actually a dancer in that chick's video.
oh shit.
So yeah,
That's really good. Oh man, he's such a funny dude. Oh, I think our
get
guest-
him on the show.
What, did our guests arrive? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I just saw them in the
Damn, how-
glass.
How early are
We'll
they?
be.
Amen. Oh, okay,
That's,
it's, only it's
yeah.
already 8:40. When are we taking break?
You guys wanted at the hour.
At the hour
At the
is when
hour,
we take
so
the
on
break.
at 9.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So let me give you my quick one for if you want that cheap, fun game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and the reason why I think I'm happy I never paid full price for it. Mirror's Edge 1 is
Very good.
probably $10 right now. You can look everywhere online, and you will have the most fun that 6 hours.
That's a good point. I need to do that.
That 6 hours of playing Mirror's Edge.
It's
You know,
fantastic.
when you have to pay $60 for it, you'd be pissed the hell off.
See, I did
Yeah.
that when it came out. I bought it when it came out. I played it, beat it. I was like, that was really fun. That was really short. And then I beat it again on the hard mode, but I bought it from Game Crazy back before they went out of business. They had this really
They had
good
awesome
policy.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I brought it back the next day after beating it twice.
and we just probably said, yeah, we're going to get another game.
Yeah,
Okay.
and was able to just trade it out. I think I got Kane and Lynch 2 and some other game.
I'm looking right now at the backwards compatibility on the Xbox list. They have some of those games, like Mirror's Edge is one of those ones you can find probably on Amazon or eBay for $5 to $7,
Right.
and you're not going to be disappointed. You're going to have a really fun time. I mean, the story is what it is, but the idea of having that first-person perspective, all you do running around and jumping off of crap and parkouring left and right,
Mhm.
it is so much fun.
I think I actually do need to do that one because I wanted to play it back when it came out, but then I was like, do I want to pay full price for this game? Because
Yeah.
it looks like it's just a parkour simulator. I didn't know anything about it. I just played the like demo when that was around. One that I think it's been like this for a long time. Ever since they remastered it on PS4, you could acquire The Last of Us HD or whatever the fuck it was called, remastered, Last of Us remastered,
Yeah.
on eBay for like $10. You could get
Yeah.
a fucking download code.
Well, I got it when I got it on
Uh-huh.
my PS4. It was $10.
Was it on sale at the time?
Yeah, it was on sale for the holidays, and that was like just after it came out on
Yeah,
remastered.
Because
so,
they always bundled it with the consoles, and I guess people were like, "Oh, I've played this game already."
yeah,
Yep.
So they're just like, "Here's the code for $10."
yeah, and it's like you get the physical copy for that price too. So that's what's crazy,
Right.
And that's a good game.
That's a good fucking
Brandon
game.
hates it for some reason,
I don't get him. I don't get him.
but
I don't know if Bernard picked up on it. But Bernard, have you played The Last of Us?
No, I haven't.
We harp on it like almost every week, but it's like you can get a code for it for your PS.
I think I own it. I just haven't played it.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
dude, yeah.
I got I think the X got me a PS4. I don't play my PS4 that often unless I'm playing Street Fighter 5.
Right.
I mean, it's
Last of Us-
definitely a game worth picking up.
You don't.
It's-
He has it apparently. You don't
Yeah.
have to play the online. The online's really fun. But if you're not gonna pay for PS Plus because you're like, I don't fucking play my PS4.
I don't.
Run through the story. It's like a 10-hour maybe. Story.
16.
16.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. That's right. I guess that's like the like accepted thing because I think we ran through it in 14,
probably. Nathaniel and I took like 17, 18. 'cause
and
we're-
that
'cause
wasn't
we're,
even like
we're collectors, is why.
well even then yeah. See, but that's only 1 more hour for collecting shit.
Well, we didn't collect everything, but
Right.
but we were like
we're
searching
going out of
through
your
all-
way.
Yeah, but when I looked online, I remember looking because we were looking at the time to beat, and everything was saying 16.
I think that's the take your time, like, and just play the game.
Yeah, well, everything. Well, like on your first playthrough, everything was saying 16. Like people, and then like most people I saw actually like just players on boards when first came out, they were saying like 20.
What the fuck? That seems so generous because it's like, yeah, I got the game and like played it overnight.
Because
And beat it.
IGN themselves took 16.
That's so
The actual
weird.
reviewer.
And I wasn't like rushing through the game by no means. I was not rushing the game at all, and I was like looking around, scavenging and shit, and crafting, having
Mhm.
fun with it, collecting comic books. 14-hour run.
Yeah, but either way, it's definitely it's a weekend game that you can just play.
Oh yeah,
You know, I'm getting back into the gaming thing, and that's what I'm liking a lot. Those
single
games you
player.
can just get in, play it, and put it away. You know,
Yeah,
you
right.
enjoy the storyline, you enjoy what's going on. And I want to add to my other bonus game for under $15, something like that.
Uh-huh.
Burnout Paradise.
Oh, that's such a good one. That's
Yeah,
so
I
much
I hear
fun.
that one praised a lot. I've never played it myself.
Do you like driving games?
No, I'm bad
Then
at
you're gonna love it.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not even kidding. You're gonna
Awesome.
love it.
Yeah.
Burnout's the driving
Oh,
game.
wait.
People who hate driving games.
Is that the one on the island? Where you,
That's extra content you can get on that.
Oh, okay.
It's,
I've watched someone play that.
Yeah, Burnout is to me the pinnacle of what driving games should be.
Okay.
You get to pick a car. You get to pick different races. If not, you just fuck around and start doing stunts in your car.
That's like have you played Forza Horizon?
No, but I heard about it.
That's what that is too. You can just there's like rally races primarily, but you can do like more.
But with Forza, it's actual cars. This is all fake cars and
Oh,
Burnout.
okay.
But you can get the DeLorean, and they had motorbikes in the download edition, and it's just. Last time I put it on my 360 like a year ago, there was actually still people playing online, fucking around doing things.
Nice.
So there was enough people out there to do that.
Did you play Juiced back in the day?
No, but I sold a lot of copies of it.
I like because I've always been bad at racing games. I love that one though, just because of the like customization.
Hey, so you lowered your car, put the stands, put the 20s on them,
Yeah,
spinner
you know.
rims, yeah,
Fucking
made it
neon.
real pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
I just did that with a car on GTA 5. I finally made a lowrider. It's got the hydraulics and everything.
Oh, cool.
It's
like-
weird how little the like stats are changed in GTA by the stuff you do to the cars.
Well, it depends on the car. Really.
Yeah, that's true. Some of them have higher, like more customizable
yeah.
internals, but even then,
Well, like the Corvette or the Coquette, it starts off not that amazing, but then
Right.
when you do the mods to it, it's like it climbs hills like super well. It takes turns better. It completely shifts by the time you mod it out.
yeah, but like as far as the sports cars go in that game, it doesn't make it like faster than a lot of the base, the higher end sports cars.
I noticed a pretty that well they did actually update a lot of the mechanics, so it might
That's
be
true.
because
It's
of
been
that.
it's been a couple years since I played.
Yeah, because I know like one
Man.
of the big ones was on the Banshee or the Viper,
Uh-huh.
and it always has been the fastest car in the game, but you had to do a shifting trick.
Right.
So every time, instead of letting the game just shift, you had to actually press the brake and then gas again, and then you would be the fastest car. They got rid of that and they just made it the fastest car, and they also have an upgrade to it that just makes it even faster. So it's like you get it at Benny's for like 600,000 or
It's
something like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn. And it's not even the most expensive car.
yeah, it's not like there's cars
By a
in that
long-
game that are like 2 to 3 million,
Right.
but you can get a Banshee I think for 200 and something thousand, and then you do the mod for 600, and you've
That's
got the
crazy.
fastest car in the game.
Because I remember the Banshee sucking.
It doesn't have the fastest acceleration though.
Right.
So that's a big deal. So if you're a guy who crashes into walls a lot, you're not going to have the fastest car. You got to be someone who can drift and get around corners quick. So
You gotta get good.
get good, yeah, for the Banshee driving. I love it. That's my favorite car though. I have it. Like, it looks all Commander Shepherded out, like it's black with the red stripe down the middle.
Hmm.
Even says N7 on the back.
Nice. God, I love that idea you had earlier, though, Bernard, about the games that you should go back and get because they're so affordable right now.
I got
Yeah.
another one for
Oh,
you.
shit.
I was thinking
You know,
about this the other day.
I have
too,
another one
Oh,
too.
yeah, go ahead. I had my two.
For PlayStation 3, it's White Knight Chronicles 2.
Oh, that's fun. They made it on
They're-
PS Vita.
Can you?
They made it on PlayStation Vita.
Yeah, they
So-
brought it back. I think last year.
So the great thing about White Knight Chronicles 2 is you get White Knight Chronicles 1 also. So you get
Mhm.
2 games for the price of one. It's probably anywhere you look for it's probably like $20.
Right.
$12.97 Amazon
see?
Prime.
There
See,
we
right
go.
there, super cheap. And the
if you
story
hung
for
on-
White Knight Chronicles
Actually,
1,
you can get it for $1.19 used.
I've got a copy of it at my home right now. But the story for the first game is I want to say like 26 hours long, and then the second game is another like 30 hours. And then what sucks is that they got rid of the online, which added like 200 hours more. And that was just like the saddest thing when the server shut down for multiplayer.
Uh, one that I have, if we add onto this list of just cheap things, is go ahead and just get any copy of Doom, the original Doom, and then get GZ Doom online. It's a thing that you run it up with, and get the Brutal Doom pack. You can play through the original story with the Brutal Doom mod, or you can play through a completely original story that the creator made. It takes old school Doom and just amps it up to 11.
I'm sorry. I tried it on Nightmare. I will never, ever try Doom on Nightmare again.
Well, see, that's difficulty.
Yeah.
This makes it to where it's more violent. The guns have
Oh.
more pump to them. Like when you like back in the old day Doom, it's like you kill the guy and then they fall down. This you could like shoot the imp's legs off. You can go up to the pinkies and rip their tooth out and jam it into their eye. Like it does all the glory kills from like Doom 2016. It just takes Doom and makes it amazingly crazy. And they added lighting effects and everything.
You have sold me, sir.
It
Yeah.
Straight up is Doom if it were made today.
Yeah, and you can get old school MS DOS Doom, which works because you just need the packet files that you can get when you buy it. You can get that for like $1.25 on Steam sales. So $1.25, you've got Brutal Doom, and that's one of those games that I just play and play and play. I'm always playing Doom. It's a game that can potentially never run out of fun.
I mean, if you like Doom,
Still
got
think
one,
it's
Miguel?
crazy you don't like it.
Miguel, you got another one?
I can't think of anything.
Okay, then I got one for you.
Go for it.
Since we're running a little short on time. This is a game that really does something really well that people don't appreciate in gaming anymore.
Huh.
Satire.
Satire. Okay.
It's a game that's meant to be funny, and it's called Eat Lead, the story of Matt
Yeah.
Hazard.
Oh,
I love
Jesus.
it. I got to be excited because I almost forgot about that game. That's so much
Eat
fun.
Lead, the story of Matt Hazard, is not a great game by traditional means, but you just go for the storyline and play and laugh your ass off at the things that happen and the dialogue that comes out of the guy. My favorite one is the fight with the Final Fantasy type character where he talks to you in voice bubbles while you have a voiceover going on. It's like, what's going on right now?
Nice.
Why do I
Yeah.
got to read what you say to me?
It's the best Deadpool game that never existed.
Perfect example.
That sounds like a step beyond what Bulletstorm did. You remember?
Oh, yeah.
Bulletstorm was violent for violence sake. Matt Hazard was way funnier.
Yeah, Matt Hazard is just hilarious. Like like they put all the like big tropes from video games into it, and then just made it all these different games in one. And it's just so ridiculous. It's like he has as many one-liners as Gex, and it's just stupid fun. It's on the I got it on the PS3. I got it on a bundle from Costco, and it was $10 with 2 other games. It came with MotoGP and something else.
$3.75 used on Amazon.
What platform would that be played on?
That's both PS3 and Xbox 360.
Okay, I've got my
And it's Xbox 360 backwards compatible. So
Oh, even better.
yeah, you can download it right now from the Xbox store, but you can pay $5 and wait for it to get to you instead.
Yeah, throw the disc in your Xbox
I
One.
think did they actually extend the backwards compatibility of Xbox 360 to all games on 360?
Not all games. I'm looking at the list right now, but there is a crap ton of games.
Yeah, there's a lot.
because they've added Xbox original games.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
the reason why I was thinking about this whole topic is because I just put in Ninja Gaiden Sigma in my Xbox, and I'm like, this is the best thing ever.
yeah.
I'm going to get to that one demon beast to not beat her again, but this is the best thing ever.
No, you got to believe in yourself.
Dude, have you played the game?
No, I haven't.
It's
hard.
incredibly hard.
I've only played the original Ninja Gaiden.
That's hard.
That's
too.
hard. That's hard as shit too.
It's not that hard.
Ninja Gaiden
well,
is.
you play
NES?
Dark Souls, so you might actually be able to play Ninja Gaiden Sigma
Well,
real
'cause
easily.
You played the original on the NES.
Yes, I remember like sucking at games back then, but it's like I could at least beat a couple levels on Ninja Gaiden.
Or did you beat the game?
No, but I was a kid.
But
That's what I'm
did
saying.
you-
It's
no,
like
no,
it's-
that doesn't count.
Doesn't
It's
count.
playable, is what I'm saying. It's
No,
like-
no,
it's not
no.
like-
This one's playable too.
Yeah.
It's just, you can if you die so many times in like the first level, you can become a dog ninja. It makes the game easier on you.
Oh, that's bad.
It will clown you and says you're not good enough to be a ninja. You're just gonna be a ninja dog and just go through the game and make it easier.
Damn, that's insulting.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Fucking- That's a different kind of brutal.
Then Ninja
Yeah,
Gaiden.
I mean,
yeah.
when you look at Devil May Cry, when you died enough times, they gave you baby mode.
That happens in the in Wolfenstein.
Huh.
Um,
The new one?
yeah,
New
I
Colossus?
can't remember if it's the newest. It's the one that was up before the
So not the one that just came out.
not the one
but
that just came out.
the
Yeah,
new Wolfenstein.
it was what are the First Order, New Order, something like that. But
First Order, I think. Yeah,
yeah, they put you in a baby costume with a binky.
that's great. That's pretty great.
So
3 minutes?
man, like when it's funny that you mentioned this whole like go back thing because I was thinking about this the other day because with the release of the Xbox One X, I'm like, damn, the Xbox One gives you access to all of Xbox essentially.
Mhm.
Like you just got the Xbox. If it has the Xbox branding on it, you pretty much can play it.
Yep.
And in a sense, it's like that's what makes it like you mentioned before. There's no reason to buy an Xbox One because all the games are on PC now, and it's like, yeah, that's arguably a big point. But then there's some people who don't want to go through building a PC or the conflicts that can come with running Windows,
On
and they
top
just
of
want to
that-
pop a disc in and play.
On top of that, if you get a One X for $500, you've got 4K gaming. You
Yeah, that's
cannot
true.
reasonably build a PC that does 4K at that price point.
Yeah, my graphics card costs more than that.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's like it's fucking insane what they've done with the One X.
Mm-hmm. So it's a hard purchase if you already have a big end PC.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's where I usually come from. Is like if you're already into PC gaming, the X is probably not the best investment.
right. What I think Microsoft plans on doing is just releasing updated versions of this over time, like every like fucking maybe 5 years.
And just keep. Yeah, I was thinking that like
here's the new standard.
because they did tell developers that they're not necessarily limiting them to making games compatible with the original Xbox One. They said
Mhm.
like if they want to utilize the Xbox One X and it's only compatible with X and higher hardware like on PC, that it's fine. So I think what Microsoft's doing here is they're planning for the long haul of saying, if it's Xbox, it'll play Xbox plus everything behind it, and you just buy this game system and update it every few years.
Yep.
Be pretty cool.
And that would still be cheaper than keeping a top tier
A top
gaming
tier
PC.
PC, yeah, if you always want to be on that upper end.
Right?
And that's what I always tell people. Like when people talk about future proofing on PCs, I'm like, there's no future proofing a PC. If you get yourself used to playing on Ultra, and you're comfortable at like high 60 or above, and you like the Ultra textures, if your graphics card stops being able to do Ultra textures, you're going to be like, I need this again.
Yeah, you'll be spending $800 every 3 years or so.
Yeah. And it's like that. No one ever buys it. It's like, okay, and then just lets it just degrade down. Everyone I've seen always ends up getting new graphics cards when they get to that point.
The closest you can get is buying like just the best shit there is for your time and seeing how long it lasts you.
Mm-hmm.
How long until you can't stand what you're playing anymore.
Yeah, that's one reason why a lot of people, I recommend them to just go on ahead and get the
Although with your
the lower
motherboards you can
Motherboards
future
last
proof
for-
with, because
yeah.
it's like
a good
I
while.
I got a motherboard with DDR4 like a couple of years ago. No, last year.
Yeah, but even still, it's gonna
Was it?
last you a while.
Yeah, that's gonna last me a long fucking time. DDR4 is still brand new.
Yeah, and when I bought my motherboard, I made sure to get one of the ones that the gold-plated Japanese semiconductors and all that stuff. So it's like it's not gonna just fry itself.
Yeah, that's the closest you can get.
And power supplies. You're not.
That's true. You're
If
never
you,
gonna
if you
need
buy
it.
a decent power supply, it's gonna last you 10+ years.
Yeah, mine's like 8 years old right now, and I'm still not.
Power supplies are so reliable that mine's a Corsair, and it's got 5-year warranty out of the box, like with nothing to it.
All
So-
right. Well, I think we're getting played out right now. We're gonna come back in 5 minutes.
5 or so minutes.
5
Yep.
minutes with
Sounds
a with a special guest.
Yes. So
We'll see
stay
you then.
tuned.
We're gonna bring back the coal industry. You want me to jump it inside Connor seat?
Sure, why not? You can give them one that's already set up. Oh, Ryan's sticking around?
He's gonna stick around. He's having fun with the conversation. So go
Okay, so just slide over. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I'm wearing Blizzard.
Yeah, I got this shirt at BlizzCon.
We wanted to
Oh, yeah, I wanted to go so bad.
We got the
We tried to get press passes, I think. But
I don't know why you say it's hot in here. It's really cold.
there's this dude that like analyzes the pro scene every like time there's a big tournament.
Okay, I appreciate that.
This one's
Let's
still
get
good.
levels.
put up 2 and 3.
Did you actually unmute this time? No, two's.
Oh, you had it. Here, you got it. I got it. Go for it.
FYI, we're coming into the Overwatch start theme.
Hey, there we go. All right, so let's get you guys. We'll start with Cole.
Hello.
Okay, that sound good to you, Spen or Bernard?
Yeah, do it again.
Hello.
Just talk.
Hi.
Yeah, turn them up. Put them up. Put them up. Put them up.
Man.
I-
Is he-
I-
Plus
Bring-
2.
bring
Talk,
the
talking to
mic.
the side of the mic.
Into the side.
Yeah.
there you go.
Okay, cool.
Is that
There should be a little arrow pointing to where you can talk it to.
Oh.
Oh yeah. I see that now. I'm
Okay.
very new to all of this. It's
Don't worry about it.
exciting.
I'm not going to yell at you much. Next.
All right, Lisa.
Hello. 1, 2,
Put them both up.
3.
Both.
Put them both up.
That's what I like to hear. And, yeah.
I get loud
keep
sometimes.
them loud.
Yeah. I do too.
Okay, guys.
Phones on silent.
Indeed.
We're still not gonna yell at you, even if that.
Thank you. I'm very
I'm
sensitive.
I'm not making that promise. Okay, 30 seconds all clear, please.
When the normal BS just won't do. ChaoticRadio.com.
And welcome back to the Kind of Gaming Show on Chaotic Radio.
Turn on your mic.
Turn on. Oh, is it off? Turn down? Is it or off?
Turn on.
Turn on
It
yours.
shows it is on.
Yeah, it's on. Am I not coming through? How about that?
There you go.
There,
Welcome
there,
back,
there.
everybody.
Hey, we're back. Oh my God, yeah, there I am. Hey, we're back with the Kind of Gaming Show on Chaotic Radio. If you didn't hear the first time, because you probably didn't. Anyway, we've got a special guest in the studio, Lisa and Cole. I didn't ask your last name. Fuck.
Edwards.
Edwards, Lisa and Cole Edwards of Exodus Escape Room.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
the proper name of the business. And so you guys run just the hospitality location in San Bernardino?
Yes.
Because I Google Maps it, so I was like,
There's
I-
a lot
I-
of them.
There are.
yeah,
They were in New York.
Yeah. That's a new store. We have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But it's still exciting that it's there.
Yeah.
Connor was 5 or 4. 5. All right.
Yeah.
Why is yours down?
I don't know. It was like that last time, but
Weird. Anyway, so yeah, I forgot the name of the business, and I didn't want to be like Exodus, and then you guys are like, Exodus what now?
Nice.
And I was like, oh my God, there's one in Rancho, there's one in Anaheim.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Rancho one is literally down the street.
Yeah, from this location. Like, it's
Yeah,
down the street from
oh,
you guys.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we passed it coming here.
Oh, I didn't actually scope it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys graciously had us in for a run of one of your rooms.
Mhm.
What's the name of it? Is it
The
just
Masquerade.
Masquerade Manor.
Masquerade Manor. All right, and we had ourselves a good time with that.
oh yeah,
We got an hour to
to try.
yeah. I don't want to give away too much, but it's just we had to find a stolen item that the owner of the manor into the mic. Is that what you're doing? Hey, sorry about that. Yeah. So you get an hour to find a stolen item, and
And escape.
yeah, escape.
That's the key.
What's the plan after that? Do you bust the dude? Like, is there more story if you succeed? We didn't succeed.
That's true. if you succeed, we give you a whole spiel. No, it's not. But
No?
we
Oh.
totally could, though. We could make a Masquerade Manor 2
Yeah.
potentially with, but no, not as of yet. We would be making it up.
Oh, okay.
Man,
Um,
nobody's asked that before, and I feel like very ill-equipped right now.
Oh, okay. I hope I don't put you too much on the spot then. But that brings up an interesting point that it would be made up on the spot. Is
Yeah.
is there one mastermind behind the rooms, or is this a collaborative effort, or
It is a collaborative effort as far as all of Exodus is concerned.
Right.
The rooms that we currently have at our location already existed with Exodus when we partnered with them to open our San Bernardino location. So there's not necessarily a single mastermind behind. There's several different rooms that Exodus has total across all their locations, and it's definitely like a collaborative effort from various people that have been there and influenced the games and stuff like that. So
okay,
Yeah, and then even though the games exist, we have to edit them for our space because everybody's space is different.
yeah,
right,
So the Masquerade Manor in Anaheim Hills, for example, their location is an old tanning salon, and so the rooms are, made for tanning beds, and so they're like just smaller rooms, and so their Masquerade Manor goes throughout 3 rooms,
right.
and that's sort of interesting. So we had to like take all of that and just put it down into our one larger room.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's someone answers my next question. I was going to ask if the rooms vary between locations. Do you guys have like a rotation going on? Like, okay, this month it's Masquerade Manor, and what was the other one? Apocalypse.
Apocalypse. Yeah, we don't change them. It's certainly not every month. That would be a nightmare.
Yes.
But, it's crazy. It's super hard to put out a room.
Right.
But yeah, it's not exactly a rotation, but there are different rooms at different locations. Up until we opened this location, it was all exclusively owned by the one family that started Exodus. So it was all just their thing, and they would just decide like what rooms to put at different spaces and all that kind of stuff. But when we partnered with them to open this one, we went and tried all the other rooms. Some of them we'd already done, and we just decided the 2 that we thought would work best and that we liked the best, and to put them in our space. So, and we did have to edit them, like you said. We had to edit them to be appropriate for our space. So there is like slight differences between them if you go to the different locations. Like, there's we have one large room Masquerade, they have 3 small rooms, that kind of thing. So there's a little bit of difference, but they're very similar. The puzzles are basically the same.
So the puzzle is so we couldn't go to the Rancho location and have a fresh try at it.
You actually can at Rancho, just because Rancho has completely different rooms than we do.
Oh, okay.
So
Right.
So
yeah,
it was Anaheim that had the
Yes.
Masquerade Manor as well. But if we
Yeah.
went to Anaheim and did the Masquerade Manor, we would know.
you would know basically
Okay.
what to do, which was still, I mean, you could really impress some people.
Yes.
Right.
Take some friends who didn't know
Yeah,
you've
just
been there. Yeah.
really.
Plus, Anaheim does have 2 other really good rooms too. So I mean, it's
Oh, okay.
still, it's
Yeah.
definitely, that's all the locations do have a different combination of rooms. So
Uh-huh.
you can still pretty much hit them all. So
I like that about the idea of there being a franchise of Exodus escape rooms, that there are different locations where, like, if say we came back into the Apocalypse room, it wouldn't be like, oh, well, now we're done with this business. We can't
yeah.
support these people any further.
Yeah.
Well, we could go to Rancho or Anaheim
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
New
Yeah.
York if we were crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
There are people that are like kind of Exodus fans, and they
Mhm.
Right.
intend to go to all of the locations, or have already, and that's really exciting.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's cool. It's like Amoeba, the record store. How people want to go to the
Yeah.
northern and the southern locations.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that it was like a record store.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be really confusing if they're like amoebas.
It's like amoeba.
Is this a biology cast or whatever?
Yes.
Now, I know you guys. You said you guys did this as a hobby before you
Yeah.
started it, and so how did that all start out with you guys?
So we got Christmas presents for her dad and brother, and her dad particularly really likes doing experiences together as opposed to like another tie or something.
Right.
And so we were just like,
Oh,
they were really new then, and we were like trying to figure out what we can get at the last minute that would still be a fun gift.
Yeah.
And then we stumbled across an escape room, and so we bought gift certificates for it, and that's how we first did it. We did our first one like in January, 2 years ago.
2016.
I'm not good with math. That's
Yeah,
why she's here.
January 2016, I think, was the first
Yeah.
time we did one, and
And we were like, our minds were blown. And like in retrospect, it wasn't even a very good room, but I've yet to do an escape room where I've not walked out and just been like, that was such a blast.
yeah.
And
Right.
so we've done almost 30 rooms now, and we just love them.
Yeah, we had done about 25 rooms at the beginning of this year, but then we decided to open a business, and so we haven't hardly done any since then because we've been very busy. But yeah, we were doing like at least 2 a month for a while, and even more than that. We did the most we ever did in one day was we did a crawl for one of our friends' birthdays where we went to 4 different escape rooms in one day, like one right
Ooh,
after
yeah.
the other.
Sounds cool.
And our minds were melted by the end. Like we found that we could do 3, but 4 was too much. Like the 4th one, we were just like, I don't know, Clue. Like, I can't think anymore.
Yeah.
That's the wall in the escape room
Yeah.
marathon.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was
At least for us.
Yeah, I like in the fourth room, I literally just sat down in the middle of the room and I was like, I got nothing. I don't know.
Well, it didn't help. It was a beta test at the time. Like the fourth one
Oh.
we did that day was a beta room, and so it wasn't fine tuned.
Right.
So there were issues and stuff that didn't make sense, and we didn't have the brain power to work it all out. So
I bet they were kind of bummed about that. Like,
yeah.
oh, you guys are talking about how you do so many escape rooms.
Yeah. At that time, that was really early on for us. Actually, that's
Yeah.
probably another part of it. Maybe we could do more now,
Oh,
but
okay.
that was like 6 months after we first started them, so we hadn't done that many.
Right. Right. So how did that decision get made to like get into the would you call it the industry?
Yeah, I would. I mean, it's funny because ever since we did one, we were like, this is our thing, right? Like we're nerdy and puzzle people, and so we were just like, oh, we could do that. And we would talk about like, oh, well, I would do this in an escape room. That would be really cool, whatever. Or this is what I'd call it, or something like that. And then we had one of our best friends. We finally took him to do one, like the beginning of last year. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whenever it was 6 months ago or so. We finally took him to do one, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, that was amazing!" Like just like we were like, "That's so cool, we could do that." We're like, "Yeah, we totally could," right? And he's like, "No, we could do that," and like we're like, "Well, I mean, we don't really know what we're doing." He's like, "It doesn't matter, we're gonna do this," and he's just like, he's our gas pedal, we always call him. So he's actually our partner on the whole thing,
okay,
and so
cool.
he's like, he couldn't be here tonight, but he's one of our best friends, and we get to work with him now, which is super fun.
Right
So, yeah, anyway, he pretty much, like, we always were kind of like, oh, yeah, we could do that. But then he was like, no, we're going to do this. And so he was basically what got us, like, full on going for it. And then it all kind of snowballed from there.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's super awesome. That's a good friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting for us. Like we reconnected with him about the same time we took him to a first escape room, or his first escape room, and we reconnected through like the kind of resurgence of board games. And like we just really got into board games in the last several years.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that really appealed to us as an escape room is it's like you're literally
In the
part
game.
in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
And instead of just like abstract on a board or whatever, it's like you're the piece, you're figuring it out. And so I think it was a natural transition for us from like board games to escape rooms.
Yeah.
Right. Are you guys like strictly board games, or do you just tabletops in general?
I really like tabletop, and we've been doing that a lot more, but we've played.
We're PC gamers.
Yeah, we're PC gamers
Mostly.
also.
We were, at least that's what we were first, and that's what we still are at the heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Bernard, have you ever participated in an escape room? In
Yeah,
escape
I
room?
did two actually. I did one in Colton and one in Pomona.
Oh, okay, cool.
Nice.
I think they're one of the best first date things you can do because you're forced in a room for 30 for at least an hour, and then you can see how well your partner reacts to stress. So if they're one of those people like, no, we're doing this wrong, you may not want a second date, If they're one of those people that want to relax and enjoy it and roll with it, then yeah, that's a good idea. But I got a question for you guys.
What's
Yeah.
up?
What's the dumbest thing somebody tried to do in your escape room?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's mostly what people say,
Yeah.
right? Like,
So one of the things that actually happens a lot is, in order to comply with the laws, even though we lock you in the room, there's a way to get out. And so we always show people the emergency exit key. And we're like, this is your emergency exit key. This opens this door. You can let yourself out for any reason at any time. And then like 10 minutes later, about 15% of the time, someone will like go to the key that we showed them and be like, I found a key.
yeah, like, guys, what does this go to?
We're like, we just showed you that key. What are you doing? Yeah, it's so fun.
Like, oh, it opens the exit.
Yeah.
We're like, get back in there.
Yeah.
It's not
Like,
it.
how much did we pay for this?
Yeah.
Maybe you have to put like caution tape around like this key opens. It's not
Right.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Like you would think just verbal instructions along with like a demonstration would be enough, but
It's not though, because people think you're tricking them. Like we will tell them like, you don't need to lift that. You don't need to escape through the ceiling. You don't need to whatever else it is.
yeah.
And they're just like, they will inevitably try it. They're just like, I think they were I think that was throw us off. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're not
like
gonna
you
do that
guys,
to you.
you guys did Masquerade Manor, and so
Yeah.
there's the dance floor, right?
Right.
And I'm sure we told you you don't need
Mhm.
to lift the dance floor,
Mhm.
and still people like we tell that to everybody, and they will literally talk to each other and just be like, I think that guy was lying to me.
Yeah.
And they'll say that. I'm like, I'm not lying. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
please don't lift the dance floor.
That's surprising
Yeah.
because it's like I've done one other escape room, and it was kind of in a shady location. It was in downtown Redlands, where you have to like go upstairs from another business, and there's no like
Yeah.
there's no sign that's like, hey,
Yeah.
this is I
I've
forget
done
the
that
name,
escape
but,
room.
Yeah, we talked about it
Yeah.
a little bit when we came to do yours. And
Yeah.
how, it was a little less satisfying because of the simplicity, but it was still really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you
They
agree.
always are.
Absolutely, yeah, and their room is older, and so they're one of like the vanguards in the Inland Empire of an escape room, and so they've done a good job. Am I too loud?
No, it's not you, man. It's the levels.
It's
That's good.
probably me. That's nice though. I appreciate it. And so like they're like a generation one room, like in the industry. I did air quotes for people listening.
We're on YouTube. They
there
can
are
see you.
webcams
Okay, good.
for YouTube, so some people will see you.
We didn't tell you, even though it's against the law. We didn't tell you so that you wouldn't put on any fronts.
Nice.
They got all dressed up though with their Overwatch.
I know.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I
Well, there's a,
Yeah.
This is what we wear every day.
yeah, we're kind of Blizzard fangirls.
Well, I am.
I mean, he could be a fangirl.
Yeah.
You know?
Listen, he's married. He can do what he wants to do.
Yeah, don't put him in a box.
Thank you. But yeah, so I don't. Yeah, so the Redlands one, it's kind of like a Generation One, where it's just sort of a single room and it's all puzzles and locks, you know, and nothing
Yeah.
else is going on.
Yeah.
But it's still like I loved it. I had so much fun, and
Right.
all of them are like that, where I'm just, oh yeah, this is a Generation One room, or this is a Generation 4 room, which is like several rooms and a lot of weird technology and
Yeah.
stuff.
It's interesting what people expect now.
Yeah,
You know, like the people have done escape rooms and now they want like more out of it, you know, and so they're like, people are like, okay, well, like most people walk in and be like, how many rooms is it? And I'm like, man, the first time I did one that was more than one room, it like blew my mind. Like, I was like, I mean, I still remember it, you know, and it would be like, we'd get in the second room and I thought we were out, and it was like, are you kidding me? Like, we freaked out. We like had 10 minutes left, and it was just like, it was very, very big deal. Now people ask, I'm like, why are you asking? You're gonna spoil this.
yeah.
Or make me tell you no, and you're gonna be like, oh, you know. And
Yeah.
it's like,
That reminds me because like we didn't realize that there'd be like as many puzzles as there were in the second room on Masquerade, and then we were like, oh darn. But it's funny because going back, Andrew was telling me, he's like, wait, it was home, like the thing is his name, you know, the password, and then he's like, oh, we would have been like through there at like the 40-minute mark. I just messed up on typing the code in.
No,
That does
what happened?
happen.
What happened was we got interrupted by something. Oh, he did
he
try home.
said he tried it. He did it.
Oh,
And
I
he
never-
said that he just didn't do it right because he put it in and everything and it just didn't open.
Damn.
And what I noticed about it, yeah, and he was like, we would have been in there
There
like
were-
20 to 40 minutes ago.
There were two close calls then because I was going down the list trying all the names, and then we got interrupted by something else we found.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I put that down, and I was like, "Oh, what's this?"
Oh
Nice.
Andrew says he specifically did it, and he was like, I'm sorry.
No, the
Bad.
the lock you guys are talking about, that is just a specific lock where if you don't have real life experience dealing with it, you're not exactly sure how to open it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what I was telling him. I was like, if I had never seen a realtor's box before, I would have never, like,
Yeah.
because I knew it was open. I was like, it's just, I can't get it, like, because it's a little funky. You have to
Yeah.
like pull it and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say like, and you have seen them, and you still had a little bit of
Yeah,
trouble
and I was
with
sitting
it.
there. I was like, I have it unlocked, but I can't get it open
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I felt the click and everything,
Yeah.
but Andrew didn't know that, so he thought it was still locked.
Yeah, it's hard. We've actually experienced that a lot. Is where people just like don't understand how to actually open it. You know, like we just have several different things like that, and sometimes people are pressing a button that needs to be slid or something like that. You know, and so we usually try to help people when it's that, because we don't want that to be the reason that you like don't
Right.
get out when you had the right answer and you solved it. You just like didn't. But yeah, it's interesting. It's like really is life experience. You know, with realtors lockbox or like briefcases.
Yeah,
you know,
briefcases.
we
that
have-
surprised me. I
people
guess
don't
like
know how to open briefcases.
yeah, I'm like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
really old because
Because we know how.
yeah.
It does. There's certain things in the rooms without spoiling anything. It's just like certain puzzles tell people's ages. I'm just like, oh, you're under 25. You don't know how to do that or something.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that with the realtor box. I was like, wow, that's going to be completely faded out from people's like knowledge of what it even is. Because now they have like the NFC keys,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
they get programmed when they leave the realtor's office.
Yeah.
It's like a one-time use. It's crazy.
yeah, it
That's
is
true.
interesting. Anything that's weird like that, we try to have the instructions on how to open it in the room, like right next to the lock. And the realtor's lockbox actually has the instructions in it, you know. But
Yeah.
even then, people don't like to read in escape rooms. We've
They're in a
learned.
rush.
Yeah,
they feel like
they're
they're wasting time.
yeah,
It's like, I can't read that.
yeah.
It's like if it wasn't for the fact of sensitivity, you have like a Commodore 64 one day, have the manual there, they have to type in the code.
That would be awesome.
But
That-
yeah,
those
it's like
games.
the amount of stuff that people do of taking things apart, you couldn't have something like that.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
It would be
I mean,
ridiculous.
You just said Commodore 64. That reminds me of like the old games where they had their password protection or whatever for the pirating, where you had to go into the game manual on a certain page and read
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And
Nice.
type in a certain word. It was like, go to page 7. What's the third word in paragraph 2?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
Old school anti-piracy.
yeah.
Yeah.
The like original Civilization was like that. I remember when I was playing it, and then that would just come up in the middle of my game. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't.
Where's
The
the
manual's like
manual?
it's under my bed or something.
Yeah, like, I don't keep that.
That's crazy. I think like the first PC game I bought that had like any kind of activation was Age of Empires 2, I think, and that was the current system. It was just a code. It was like here's your product key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It took a while to
Yeah.
get to that.
yeah. I'm old, so you know.
Yeah. And then I've never been in an escape room, but like it sounds real fun. And like my only experience that I guess would be kind of like it would be the games like the 9 series. I don't know if you guys have heard of that.
No.
yeah,
like,
Oh,
99
seventh
Nights?
guest.
Yeah, 999 and
Not 99 Nights.
Oh, okay.
That's
no,
a
it's 999. It's kind of like an escape room from
They-
what I've heard.
yeah. It's 9 people, 9 rooms, 9 something,
Uh-huh.
and it
9 hours.
Yeah.
Dude.
And there's 3 games in the series. It's Nine's Virtue's Last Reward, which was given for free on the Vita. And I can't remember what the last one is. That one came out like a while ago, but it's you can buy them for the PlayStation Vita. It's called the Nonary series, and yeah, if you haven't tried it, I think you might like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah, as I understand it, escape rooms became a thing because they were like virtual games, like app
Right.
games and stuff first, and then they became a physical manifestation in Japan, I think, right first, and then it went to Europe, and then it came to America, and so.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of we went to Indiecade, me, Andrew, and another person we had on the show,
Yeah.
and they had an escape room that was in a giant inflatable black bag, where the person in the bag doesn't like actually go anywhere. They're just told to like maneuver on the person outside has to give them like directions and tell them what the room is around them,
Oh wow.
and they have
Sounds
to
like
navigate it
torture
that way.
porn.
Uh,
I didn't say stop.
I wouldn't know, Bernard. So yeah, you have to have the person on the outside communicating with you. Be like, okay, you're in a room with like a door to your left and to your
Oh
right. and-
wow.
yeah, we signed up to try it, but then took off for some reason.
Yeah.
Forgot about it.
Yeah.
But I watched a few people like doing it, and I was like, that looks really fun, actually.
That's cool.
Unfortunately, it was weird because that's not the kind of thing you can take home. You can't buy that game. So
Yeah.
I should have talked to them about like what their market is.
Yeah. Yeah. What is this?
Right. We got a little off. Well, we kind of trailed off, but I was talking about how the Redlands escape room. I'm not going to name it mainly because I forgot its name.
Oh.
How they have. Oh no, I do remember the name, but I'm not going to name it because this is not their segment.
Right.
They were upstairs in a downtown Redlands building, and there's
Uh-huh.
no signage really other than like I had to ask somebody that ran one of those like little boutiques up there, like, hey,
Right.
where's this place? And they were
Yeah.
like, oh, that's around the corner by the stairs.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And it's just an office building door, and someone comes out and is like, hey, are you here for the thing?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I think so.
This is the
Which
beginning of
thing?
Saw.
I hope so. Exactly. So that was a little shady. So I really appreciated driving up to your guys' place, and it's a storefront.
Yeah.
It's in a small plaza thing
Yeah.
on Hospitality.
Yeah, it's right by the freeway. It's like actually
Right?
we're just super happy with the location we were able to get because we had that same thought. I mean, we even at first were looking more at places like what that Redlands one is in, just because we kind of figured that's just where you put escape rooms because all the ones we've been to are like that pretty
like-
much, except for the Exodus one.
Except for the Exodus
you know,
ones.
because they've always striven to not be like that, which I think is just smart. And so we were very, very happy with our location. It's very visible and it just looks friendly. You know, I think that's the
Mhm.
hard part too. Is a lot of times people, especially in San Bernardino on Inland Empire, they just like have not done escape rooms usually. We
Right.
like at least 75% of the people that come through, it's their first time. And so it's like you already don't know what you're doing, and it seems maybe a little bit sketchy or a little bit strange, or you're not quite
Yep.
sure. And so then if you also have to walk up to like a scary dark building or something, it's
Yeah.
like that's not. I don't know that I want to be here, you know. And so it's we strive to have it be very, you know, light and welcoming and open, and just a really cool atmosphere that people want to come into. And so far, we've gotten very good feedback about it. So
Yeah, for me personally, outside looking in, it was really nice because you know, go in, it's like, okay, we're in this comfortable office style area, and
Yeah.
then you go in the room, and it's like, oh, this is neat. It was totally inviting. Where I haven't been to other escape rooms, but I've been to other things that have that similar
Yeah.
experience going through, and it can get kind of weird. Like in San Francisco, they have the like the historical dungeon is what it's called, and it's like it's cool when you walk in, then you start going down into the basement, and then like walking through a like service hallway, and you're kind of like, where are we going right now? And there's like open piping and everything.
oh my gosh.
It's a
Step
bad-
into the Iron Maiden, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's a bad theme that a lot of escape rooms seem to have, I guess.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. What was the?
This one was just, it was meant to be like an experience, like you go through it, and it was fun. It was definitely fun, but it was called the dungeon.
Is that the term? They're just experiences.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a word that we use a lot, is like escape room experience. Or
Yeah,
something
Yeah.
like
because you
that.
guys said it earlier, and then you just used the same
Yeah.
word. And I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
because
okay.
it's not virtual. It's you know, you're actually going through it,
Right.
and yeah. So when I came to this one, I was like, oh, this is nice. We're in like a well lit building that smells good and has like clean paint. It's not slightly random puddles of wet whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we worked really hard getting it like painted pretty much the whole thing, and we had a little bit of help, but and especially the rooms, we like 100% designed and propped them out and everything, and we worked really hard. And so it's always nice when we get like people being like, "Oh, this is really cool looking." I'm like, "Yay," you know.
Yes.
I like that. It means a lot to me when people like it.
No, it does to me too, especially the masquerade room. You know, a lot of people have just like when they walk into it, they get that like, wow, it looks great in here.
Right.
And then it always makes me proud of Lisa because she chose the paint color.
And that's
You know.
really what makes it.
It is honestly the paint on, like, you know, if you had just white walls in there, it would be a completely different feel.
Yeah.
You know, it really adds to the immersion just having
Yeah,
the
colors.
right paint.
Colors affect us mentally. Like, you know, the whole
Yes.
thing with McDonald's and red and yellow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
They make you hungry.
Yeah.
It's
it
like
works, man.
It does.
Always go to McDonald's.
I was gonna say, like, even if you have a horror theme, it's nice to like it's cool to have it maybe in those areas. Like, okay, we're going to a horror themed one, but it's like you don't want to be going up to something like, am I gonna get splinters from this by crawling under it,
Yeah.
or you know, you don't want to.
Right.
There's just
Yeah.
that point where it's like, okay, you took the theme and just made it uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Which
Right.
could happen with some places. Which
Yeah.
The only way it could be a little more unnerving is if you had a waiver before. Like,
Oh, yeah.
We've
We-
done several where you
we
have to
saw-
sign a waiver.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and the
Yeah,
thing that
it
always-
is unnerving.
The thing that always gets me is I've looked at them. We have 3 kids, right? And so I've done escape rooms while pregnant.
Right.
And I've had at least twice where it said, you're like signing this, you agree that you're not pregnant or something. And I'm
Oh,
like,
no.
and then I'll be like, oh, I can't, like, you know, and then they're like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, well, is there something dangerous in here, you know, like for a baby? And they're like, no, we just put that on there. I'm like, okay, well,
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know. It seems weird. So yeah,
No.
we don't do waivers because
It's
plus
probably
everything's safe.
it's probably a legal requirement. Like, you guys have to have the key in
Yeah,
there.
it could be.
It
for
could be
certain
an
cities.
insurance requirement too, like some insurance places, like they want you to have that waiver so that you don't hold them liable.
Right. And if something did happen, they wouldn't be protected,
Right.
or you wouldn't be liable.
Right. But we make
Yeah.
sure our rooms are just extremely safe and there's not really a concern. So
Yeah.
It's
Make it fun.
probably the best way to go about that.
yeah.
Yeah. Family friendly, corporate friendly, it's good.
Yeah, I
But like
mean-
I'm a lawyer, so I read those like fastidiously, and
Mhm.
then every time I'm like, you can't, like, this doesn't actually exonerate you from any legal liability.
Yeah, you're like,
Yeah, he's always like, you can sign it, it's fine, we can still sue him. I'm like, okay.
yeah, because you can always say you did it too fast. They didn't give you time to read it. All that kind of
Right.
crazy. It's like,
Is that an actual? That's a thing you can do.
yeah,
Yeah, it's if it's a standard form contract, which is the legal term, and there's anything in there which you wouldn't sign in a standard form contract, where it therefore no longer is a standard form contract, you can argue the validity of the entire contract.
Oh wow.
yeah.
Or at
It's,
least he can. I don't know.
you can pretty much sign anything as far as like those event waivers, and they don't hold really any water. It's really,
It's more like for people, like, so that if something does happen, the people will not try.
yeah.
Because they'll think, well, I signed a waiver.
That takes some weight off my shoulder because I always like go over like if I have something to sign, I like read
Yeah.
that shit.
Yeah.
You actually
Yeah.
have more weight if you don't read it.
Yeah,
Because
'cause
they
you're
were there
like-
to witness that you didn't read it.
Yeah.
And you can be like, he says that he's like, yeah, he was there. He saw me sign it after handing me the paper. I didn't read it, and it's better in court.
Yeah, but
So
I,
good.
I do still like to read everything, so I'm like with you, just
Yeah.
the vigilance part.
But you can actually like comprehend what
Yeah.
these things mean. I'm just reading it
Yes.
because I'm like I just want to make sure it doesn't like sign away my firstborn or something.
Yeah, something like really
Apple
blatant.
did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apple did that one time. It was funny.
There was another one where like they gave away $5,000 or something. I don't think it was Apple. It was
No,
somebody
it
put
it
like
was someone put it inside their TOS, and like this kid found it. Like
it was like
I
the
think
first person to
yeah.
claim it
Oh.
gets
and he
it.
got like $5,000.
Yeah.
I
No
don't
way.
remember that
Gosh.
story.
That's amazing.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
really funny.
It was
That's actually
ridiculous.
I wish I
cool.
could remember the company that did that, but
Napster?
Yeah.
No.
probably
It was-
not Napster.
it
No.
was a music company though.
They were
You're on
all
the right-
about not
Yeah,
Giving
not
money.
legal.
when
Yeah.
you could buy music on it.
Yeah.
Wasn't that a South Park episode that where it turned into the Human Centipede thing where it was
Yeah.
like everyone was clicking the I agree
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
and it was like
They were like everybody reads the terms of service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was only Kyle that didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Man, nice human centipede reference.
Thank you.
Yeah, that makes me happy.
I think another thing that contributed to like the friendliness is just like having you guys out there to like talk to. Like
Yeah.
while we were waiting on our appointed time to do the room, like you were out there. You claimed yourself to be awkward,
Yeah.
but it was actually really like I don't want to say personifying. You're obviously a person. But yeah.
It's humanizing.
Yeah,
the
still, he's
company.
obviously a human. Yeah,
It is though. I mean, I think that's one of the
That's
great.
true.
That's one of the great things is like we are a part of Exodus, which is great because it's even though they're doing super well now. They have more locations, but they're actually still family owned, and
Right.
which is cool. And that's what's cool about our location specifically is we are just in a way we have the benefit of like being with Exodus, so we have this brand recognition, but we're also really just a mom and pop shop at the end of the day, you know, like
Right.
and so it's kind of the best of both worlds. And so I mean that's just our thing is like we just meet people and we're just like excited that they're there and we just want to talk to them and like we meet a lot of like our people, you know, like I mean because the people that come through escape rooms are very like us often, you know, kind of nerdy and into the same kind of stuff. And so
Yeah, and like super into gaming, you know,
Yeah.
like we've actually done like board game nights with some of our customers.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great.
we did some D&D.
Yeah,
Oh, fun.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
really cool. And you know, I'm super introverted just by like that's how I am.
Yeah.
And but still my favorite aspect by far is getting to interact with the customers and
Mhm.
you know, if they're
Yeah.
nervous about an escape room, which I understand because I remember my first escape room and being like, I'm bringing my family to die, you know,
Yeah.
and like, good job. But like it's so cool to get to like put people at ease and just walk them through like what they're about to experience, and then get to watch them experience it afterwards and be there at the end and be like, man, you guys did this so well, and
Yeah.
it was like really great for me to get to watch it and you know, and just to like to be part of that whole experience and like hopefully. You know, I still remember the person that walked us through our first escape room. Like her name was Kathy. You
Oh,
know,
I didn't remember
yeah,
that.
like I just remember that, and you know, so hopefully, like I'm part of somebody's memories, right? Where they're like, man, my first escape room was Exodus. Well, I'm so sorry. I'm
No
It's
sure.
all
worries.
good. You're clearly passionate.
Yeah.
He is very passionate.
Like Exodus San Bernardino, and that guy that lied to me about the dance floor, he was nice.
I liked him. I totally trust him.
Yeah, he didn't lie. It was great.
Right. Yeah. I say because I forgot your names.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's really good at remembering names. So he'll
Yeah.
often like at least like at the beginning to the end of the person's escape, he can usually like remember their names to use it. You know, I'm not as good at that.
Yeah, we came out of the room and it's like we talked for like what 11 minutes at the beginning
Yes.
and said our names once.
Yeah.
And we come out of the room and you like asked us individually. You only forgot Andrew's name.
Yeah.
You know, all three, like the
Yeah.
other three of us, like
Yeah.
Well, it was
Easily.
because Andrew looks like a Connor that we know, and so I was
Oh,
really
that's
just
right.
like
That's what was
confused.
confusing. Is
Right.
Yeah,
like,
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and then I knew your name was Connor, but I was like, but
there
what's...
can't be two Connors.
Yeah.
That's
Not a
against the
thing.
rules.
No.
Yeah.
You know, like you know, Lisa mentioned we have kids. One of my favorite memories of our daughter when she was like just learning to talk, and she knew her name, and she knew I was daddy, and that Lisa was mommy, and so she would just be like, "Daddy," and I'd be like, "Yeah, Aslan," and then she would giggle like nonstop, and then like as soon as like I recognized her, she'd be like, "Mommy," and then you know, and then Lisa would be like, "Yeah, Aslan," and then she would giggle, and like our daughter would do this literally the entire car ride,
Yeah.
and
For months.
for months. And so it was just like, it really resonated with me. Like, people appreciate when you identify them as a person by their name, because that's like the first thing we identify with,
Right.
you know. And it's like, yes, you're not just somebody giving me money, like you're an actual person, and I'm grateful that you're here.
Yeah, and that's
Sure.
I think that's nice too. I mean, like all our booking is done like online. It's all ahead of time. We hardly ever like we don't do walk-ins right now because it's just us and everything. And so we have appointments set up ahead of time. And so by the time you get there, it's not like, you know, we're not selling you anything, and you're not like it's not like a transaction. It's like you're just here to experience something, and we're just there to like give you a great experience.
Mhm.
And so that's just the only way we look at it when we're there, and we're just like hosting people. Really,
Yeah.
like kind of like just they're coming into our home, and we just want to have a good time. So
That's a better way to say it. I was gonna say you guys are kind of entertainers, but host sounds a lot more like
yeah,
what you do.
that's the word that I always think is that we're hosting people and
Mhm.
trying to give them a really good experience, and we've had nothing but positive feedback, so that's
Yeah.
really nice.
It has been nice.
Because we don't like we're just really going off our passions. Like we're not like experts at any of this. We just love escape rooms and stuff. So it's just nice that seems to be enough for people. You know, just being
Right.
genuine. They like that. So
Yeah, you're not like psychologists that are like, yeah, this puzzle is designed to mess with your psyche.
yeah,
No,
Your id.
yeah,
man,
they are though.
let's not. Yeah, let's not mention Freud. But we actually watched like a show, like after we first got into escape rooms. I don't remember what the name of the show was, but it would basically pit two teams of like 4 people against each other, and they were basically doing an escape room. But they didn't call it an escape room. I don't know what they called it. It's like a puzzle room or
Was
something.
that sci-fi show?
Maybe.
It's only we only
Yes.
saw it on YouTube because it
Oh,
wasn't
okay.
like we didn't see it on I didn't actually an escape room owner or manager, whoever it was, when we did a certain room, they told us about it and then we looked it up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was I think it was 3 people in the room, but they were all strangers too, which is what was funny. Like they
Oh.
weren't like a group that came together.
Yeah, and then like every once in a while they would like pause the recording of them doing the room and explain like why they were missing things, and that was just really
Yeah,
interesting
like
to me.
the psychological reasoning behind like why something's right in front of their face and they can't see it, you know. And you do see that actually a lot when you're game mastering these escape rooms. Is like people, it's just very interesting watching people. It's a very interesting little psychological and sociological study, you know, like seeing how people act with each other, and sometimes you have mixed groups and how that works or doesn't work as well or
Yeah.
whatever. And also
Perfect
it's
first date.
we actually had somebody that came in on a blind date,
Oh.
and that was interesting.
Was-
I may live
Yeah.
with another couple.
Yeah.
No, that would have been great
That
though.
would've been really funny.
Oh,
Right,
man.
they end up switching.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you know,
Don't like you. Yeah.
Yeah, they were in the room by themselves. I
Yeah.
think, right, and it was just and it
We
was a
picked
blind
up on
date.
it because like halfway through, he's like, "So, have you been in any other relationships?"
Yeah, they would just kind of pause to like have a serious conversation, you know,
Oh,
like if
yeah.
they were at dinner, and I was just like, you know, this is like not the venue.
Right, I
for
bet you
a
feel
blind
weird
date.
watching that.
Sometimes.
It's a little
You
weird.
type on the screen like, "Hey guys, I can hear you."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny how quickly people forget that they're being watched. Like clearly they'll start just saying things or it's just funny. Or then you'll type on the TV, which is how we deliver clues. And so we'll, you know, type something that they need to know or whatever, and sometimes it'll be a reaction to what they said, you know, and they'll like we'll be like, yes, that's correct or whatever, and they'll be like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like they totally forgot we were there, and so that's kind of funny.
Yeah, because I think that's a bit of a source of discomfort to know that you're being watched.
Yeah.
But it's like, for me and Connor and Andrew at least, I don't know if Casa does any like performance, but we're kind of like performers in
Yeah.
the first place. to the lowest degree. So it's like, and what we try to do is just be ourselves and talk. Like on this show,
Yeah.
it's not scripted. Like
Yeah.
we have a
Yeah.
topic, but we just talk.
Yeah.
We're just having fun. So it's like when we were in that room, I was
Yeah.
just cracking jokes like normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty used to, yeah, it's like used to people seeing what we do. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's become a thing of just not doing things that are weird or bad.
Yeah.
You don't do anything too weird, so
Yeah,
it's
right.
okay.
Well, ever since I saw the Truman Show, I basically have thought that that must be what life is like, and that like we're all actually being watched all the time
Right.
anyway.
Right.
And so
We're
you
in
know,
a simulation.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's the Matrix, you know. But I'm just like, yeah. So I just assume people are watching and that I must be doing an amazing job, and they must be really impressed with me.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's a good way to look
Yeah,
at it.
you're like, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like the thing I was most worried about was like, man, I hope these jokes are actually funny. Like the things I'm saying, and I don't just look like an asshole.
No, you guys were a fun group, I remember.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we
I was
had
lifting
fun.
all the furniture.
Yeah.
We're like, you don't need to move the furniture. There's
Yeah.
always that one guy.
Well, because like it was like, don't unplug anything. I was like, okay, we won't unplug anything. And
So you lifted the thing with the lamp, right?
Yeah.
I held the lamp in this
Yeah.
hand, and then I turned
Yeah.
I turned it over with my other arm. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wrapped my arm around it and then just lifted it up. And I was like, hey, look, a phone.
Yeah. You're like, I'm not unplugging anything. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always put everything back right where it was.
No, you were
Right.
very nice. Actually,
Yeah.
that lamp no longer exists. That lamp got broken by a toddler.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh, at least that finished with a toddler.
yeah. Well, we in Apocalypse there's one very complex puzzle,
Mhm.
and we had Nike in doing a corporate team building thing, and that like the manager of the group spent
Right.
all his time on this very complex puzzle and did it. He did it correctly,
Right.
and then another one of his employees like did not see that it was there and sat down on it, and
Oh,
like. He knocked it down, broke it, and like undid 20 minutes of work that
Yeah.
his boss had been working
it
on.
was sad.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And I was like,
That's
well,
a bummer.
yeah.
How often do you interact with the larger Exodus company? I guess.
We're,
Yeah.
I mean,
I personally don't interact with them hardly at all.
that's true because I'm much more of the communicator or what you know,
Yeah.
and I handle that. So
And I have like my other job, you know, which is 40 hours a week, and Lisa's raising our kids, but also she is just much better at communicating than I am.
Right.
And her like filter is significantly better than my filter, and so she's like really carried the mantle of being the go-between.
Yeah.
and
Right.
done it phenomenally well.
well, but yeah, I mean, so I mean, we communicate frequently, you know, and they're always there to help. They definitely helped us get open. A couple people in particular, you know, helped us and gave us some pointers and stuff like that, and so that was good. And so, but I mean, pretty much, especially lately, when we were running it on our own and kind of just doing pretty much everything ourselves, which is just fun. I mean, that's why we started it, was to open our own escape room. So
Right. Yeah. That's how my question should have been phrased: is how independent are you guys
Oh,
within Exodus?
yeah, I mean, the owner of Exodus is a partner on our location, so it's definitely like, you know, there's like decisions and stuff like that we don't make alone.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, big decisions, things like that. But I mean, as far as the day to day and stuff, that's all on us, and that's, you know, that's our part in it, so to speak. So
yeah, we're
good.
we're real like day to day. We are very independent in the way we run, but like
Yeah.
you know, we want to make another room, and so that would have to go through a vetting process,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
with Exodus, and so
and we might lean on them for their expertise with stuff like that too. You know,
Mhm.
that helps. So.
yeah.
That was something I wanted to ask is because when we got there, you were actually in the transition from it was a heist beforehand.
Yeah,
And how often do they change?
not very frequently. We can add 2 rooms before we start changing anything, and so we will definitely do that.
Yeah,
But, like-
the rooms that we have right now are the 2 rooms we opened with, and we'll
Mhm.
probably have them for a good long time, just because we can add up to 2 more rooms before we even have to get rid of these ones. So we'll probably just keep
Right.
them.
Yeah, and you know, I'm not detached enough yet to like say goodbye to all the work that went into those rooms.
Yeah, yeah. It's so
Mhm.
much work, and it's not like you can just, especially. I mean, it's just, you know, there's certain things you build into the room, and then it's like, okay, well, I either have to, like, I mean, literally make a new wall, or I have to figure out how to use this exact same thing in a different theme, and so it's
Mhm.
just kind of like, it's not. People ask us that all the time, like, when can we come back, and will it be different, you know?
Mhm.
And we're always just like, well, we're working on our 3rd room. When, if you follow us on Facebook, you will see, like, you'll be the first to know when we have a new room. So
Mhm.
that's that's like kind of what we're trying to do right now. But the
Yeah.
rooms will probably stay for a good long time because we did put a lot of work into them.
That's one of the things that I really like about the escape room industry in general. Though, is you don't really have competitors. You don't cannibalize each other's customer base because it's like you do it, and then you don't do it again because you know the answers, and then you just go to another room.
Yeah.
You go to the other one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need more to do, so you go find another one. So.
The only competition is who is better,
Right.
and they're still gonna do both of your rooms, even if like you have the better one. Your competitor is still gonna get the I don't want to say the trickle.
No, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean we strive. Our goal is one of our goals is definitely to be not lacking in any of the areas of an escape room, right? And so you generally get rooms that are either they focus a lot on the puzzles and they get great puzzles, but the immersion is just there's like none, or the theme is just kind of like whatever, and you don't feel like you're in a story or something, or you get like this killer immersion, which is just like you totally feel like you're in this other world, but then the puzzles are just kind of like whatever, and they're not that hard, or they're just not that interesting, or they don't make much sense, or something like that. In general, at least that's what we've seen. But
Or you get the weird case where you go to do an escape room and you take your mom for her birthday, and then she goes to use the bathroom, and the guy starts swearing at you while she's gone, and I'm like, "This is your place of business. Why are you just like dropping f-bombs on me?"
Yeah, that happened one time. I was like,
Super weird. So we try to like marry all those things together,
Yeah,
like good
'cause-
customer service, professionalism, and then rooms that can hold their own.
Yeah, so that's our goal, is to not sacrifice any of it. But I think that is the biggest thing, that's like, some people are gonna like a certain thing or not, or wish you had done it this way or whatever. It's like you can't please everybody, but the one thing we can always do is just give people a great experience. So like that's just what we try to control, and is like giving 5-star service all the time. And so I think that's what we do. We hope that's our goal anyway.
Speaking about people messing with all the furniture and whatnot, what's the weirdest thing that someone's done in your escape room?
I already asked that question.
Like the weirdest,
No,
weird,
yeah,
like, with the
not
stuff.
the craziest,
Yeah.
but the weirdest.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, we had a lamp broken, but like
So there's a lot of things. You guys did the room. There's a lot of things that are like very securely attached to the wall, and still like I have like metal signs in Apocalypse that are anchored and screwed down, and those have been taken off.
Yeah.
Like, why is there 4 screws in this thing? That's weird. And then they'll spend several minutes trying to take it off, and then
Yeah.
actually get it off, and then we're like, oh, there's nothing there. Yeah, because
Yeah.
we put 4 screws in there.
We've had people definitely break things, like we had people like rip books apart.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's gotta be something. It's like, well, that's not how you're gonna find it, like that's,
Yeah, we actually, like, within the first week that we were open, somebody broke a key. And
Yeah.
I didn't actually
Like,
know
just
that
a
you
key.
could break a key,
Yeah.
and they're so convinced that this key goes to this lock that they're
like forcing
putting
it.
so much force that they broke the key.
Yeah, that's almost like a myth. Like growing up, I've always known like if you turn the key too hard, it's gonna break, but it never happened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
never.
I've had it
Never
happen
seen
once.
it.
Have
I've
it?
had it
You've
happen
broken
once.
it. Did you
No
break
way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. What happened with mine is the lock was rusted. I don't know how you get a lock that's rusted, since nowadays like locks are like it will go through rain and all that stuff.
Yeah, they're usually
And-
brass and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was for our shed, and I had the right key. I knew what key it was, and I just stuck it in there and turned it, and then like it just snapped because the key was also really old, and I was like, well, damn,
Yeah, like
it's
now
still
I-
in there today. Yeah,
Well, yeah, that lock's done at that point.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
just like, oh, whatever was in that shed, I'm never getting out.
Well, no, we eventually got it unlocked, but like now we just use another lock
Yeah.
on it.
Mhm.
So it's like,
You didn't
okay.
just take the lock off.
No, because it's like part of the door.
Yeah, it's,
Oh,
it's
wow.
history.
Oh.
No, like it's
Oh,
literally part of the
physically
door.
part of the door.
Physically
Oh, okay.
part of the door. So we had
Wow.
to like add an attachment on there for the
Well,
new lock.
I'd like to believe it's spiritually part of the door.
For me, it's just old mountain houses up there, and then the cold makes doors and everything expand in the winter.
Oh,
And we had this lock that it was
Wait.
always kind of like you always had to wiggle it and everything.
I thought it was the reverse situation. I thought heat made the stuff expand.
Because in the wintertime, all the doors, moisture and everything makes them get thicker. And
Because there's so much snow.
sometimes the doors don't even, like, you have to slam the front door to get it to actually close. And where in the summertime, it's like clunk. It's like
Uh-huh.
perfect door, like makes the nice sound and everything.
Hmm.
But in the winter, yeah, it's all bad. And we had this one that you always had to like jiggle the key while you're going into the lock, and my key had this bend in it for the longest time, and then eventually it just snapped, like at the base of the key. Like I was just holding the round part of the key, and the whole thing was in there.
That's a tough key that it even bent though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just snapped in there though, and it was just chunked in. And that was a sucky day because it was actually my brother and I were walking home from it was snowing and everything.
Oh, this story.
Yeah. And so I'll go ahead and tell the whole story. Is we're stuck out. I call my dad and he's like, I'm not going to be home for like 4 hours. And my mom was working double shift, so we're sitting there. And then he's like, just go in the back door and like burst like he's like lean up against it and hit it a couple times with your shoulder. And then this was when I was in high school. I was like, oh, I know I can kick the door down. That sounds way cooler. And I tell my brother, I'm like, hey, I'm going to kick this door down. And I was like, don't tell Dad I did it. And he's like, okay. And then so I kick the door, and it fucking blows the frame out and everything and destroys this like whole doorway. And then I'm like, he's laughing. And we're like, that was so cool because I just kicked the door open. It was the back door that and then I'm like, how did the door break? And he's like, oh, it just broke because you nudged it too hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. And then my dad's like, you fucking kicked the door.
Good thing your dad's a contractor.
Yeah, my dad, he completely just rebuilt the door frame in like
man.
an afternoon.
Oh
It was
my
no
gosh.
problem. But it was so funny. Like, he knew exactly what happened as soon as he got home. He's like, you kicked the door down.
Man, that's awesome.
Oh my
You're like the
God.
Kool-Aid man. Just
Yeah. Oh, it felt so good though. Just
Oh,
to, like,
yeah.
just boom, firm, solid kick at the lock area. It was awesome.
So good thing he didn't try any of that in your guys' escape
Yeah,
room.
Yeah, thank
now
you.
we know. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'd like to imagine that, like, that there's probably been that in some cases, like people had a business and then they're like, oh, you need to destroy it
Yeah.
to get to the puzzle.
yeah,
Wouldn't that be a cool room though?
it would.
I mean, that'd be an expensive
That'd be an
room.
expensive room.
Yeah.
You'd have to
Yeah, but
Yeah,
replace
that's-
everything
You have to
every
be able to
single
reset. Like that's the point. You have to be able to reset.
you charge the premium price and you enforce a not a player limit, but there has to be a minimum amount of players to make it worth it.
Yeah.
That would be an interesting one. Destroy this house, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just had like on Facebook this article came up that was like, you know, a bunch of things collected like from Reddit that was all like weird escape room stories, you know, and most of them were from people who worked at escape rooms. And one of them was that they said like, I don't know where the escape room was, but they said like the theme was like jailbreak or something, and they had this part towards the end where they have like a cell that's made of like plywood or something, and you know, cell door that's made of plywood that they are supposed to open. And like I guess they got to that point, and then some girl, like they heard her over the microphone, she's just like, jail break, and then like
Oh, no.
literally like ran at it and broke through it and like got out and like thought that was how you're supposed to do it. I was like,
I mean, that's one way, but it's the wrong way.
That's
like,
awesome.
I love that she thought it was like she had solved the puzzle.
Yeah.
It's like jailbreak.
Break the jail, guys. Like that was so
Genius,
funny. I was just like, man.
man.
Yeah, I feel like it would never work out. Like, even if you told them, like, okay, it's expensive, waiver and everything, you'd get people that would just, like, destroy the drywall.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Right,
That's
getting
true.
even more. It's like, oh, yeah, drywall only takes, like, a good throw into it, and you can go through an entire wall.
Yeah.
And then it's like they fall into the next business over. What the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not this again.
Yeah.
You're just a really pissed off lawyer next door.
Oh man,
This happens every night.
Yeah.
that's phenomenal.
Yes.
It's a loan company, and they're like writing up loan docs, and then someone just comes flying to the wall. They're like, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, you know, we try really hard to like not burden people with too many rules,
Mhm.
but at the same time, you have to
Yeah.
like,
There's so much to tell people because
Yeah.
they think of the craziest things when they're in there.
Mhm.
We have
Yeah.
to sort of like preemptively counter that, you know? You
Well-
don't have to go through the ceiling. Like that's in our spiel for a reason. Like
Yeah.
It's kind of a crazy thing. Like it's lessened so by like your guys' storefront. It's just a business.
Yeah.
But like in like the ones where you have to climb up a stairwell to get to an unlabeled room,
Yeah.
you might think like, oh, there might be some shady shit I have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
Yeah, the first escape room we ever did was like in a back alley, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
and
not
you know,
labeled.
yeah, not
We're
labeled.
like, are we at the right place? Like,
Right.
what is this?
Yeah, And it is. It's like really sketchy. You know, like I'm giving you money and you're gonna lock me in a room, and
Yeah.
you know, but then it's phenomenal.
Yeah,
right?
and that's what I always tell people too. Sometimes, they'll come in and they're not really sure because somebody else brought them or whatever it is, and I'm always just like, look, or often people will walk in, and because of our location, there's some foot traffic, and they'll just be like, what is this, and I explain it, and I'm like, I know it sounds weird, but just do it, like once you do it, you will get it, and then they come out and they're like, oh my gosh, I get it, and they're just like, it's so much fun, and I don't even like know why, but it's just so much fun. Even if you get out or if you don't get out, almost no matter how far you get in the room, we literally had a couple solve nothing. One time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nothing in an hour. They did nothing. And like they didn't just sit, like they worked on stuff for an hour. And
Was
they
this the
didn't solve
Masquerade?
anything.
No,
it was in the
it was
other
an
room.
apocalypse.
It
And
was
not
Apocalypse.
only did they literally do nothing. Oh, that's the music is
That's
cutting me
the
off.
cutting music.
Yeah, we're getting played
Uh,
off.
It basically
I
makes
want
you
to
feel like a
thank
kid.
my mom
Yeah.
and
I probably should have been paying attention to Bernard. Okay.
I gave you a couple signals.
He gave it a 5,
Yeah.
yeah.
We're
Oh,
having
what?
fun.
Come on, man.
Oh, I thought you saw him. You looked at it, and, yeah. But either way, go ahead and let him know who you are.
Oh.
Yeah, cash it out.
yeah. So Cole and Lisa, Exodus Escape Room, San Bernardino, and Hospitality. It's a great experience. Thanks for having us on your show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely recommend it. We'll have to take Spencer to the Apocalypse Room.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right.
please
Anytime.
Awesome. Thanks again for coming on the show. It was good talking to you guys.
Thanks for having us.
This is the Kind of Gaming Show. We'll be here next week. Hopefully, Andrew's back next time.
Yeah, we have no clue what's going on
And
next
actually,
week.
not next week. Next week is Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's
Oh.
The
right.
week after. So we're taking a hiatus for 1 week.
Happy
Yes.
Thanksgiving.
come. Yeah.
See you, everybody.
Thanksgiving. Good sign off.
Yeah, it goes by so fast.
That's why I always check my phone. Like,
Exactly.
making sure we're not going to go
Nice.
wrap it up at some point.
Yeah, like I mentioned it in the show. We're just talking,
Yeah, exactly.
having conversation.
Thanks, Bernard.
Man, yeah, it looks like you guys brought a bunch of.
If you guys
I